We are down to our final 9, and let's introduce you to our final table. Moving around the horn from 1 to 9, in our 1 seed, he is from Valdosta, Georgia, but a regular here in Jacksonville, of course. His chip count is 750,000. Please welcome Donnie Upson. In our 2 seed, he is from right here in Jacksonville. Hold your applause, please, Billy, until everybody's in now. From Jacksonville, 435,000 in chips. This is James Harris. Coming down from Wilmington, North Carolina today, he has a chip count of 870,000. A round of applause for Ezekiel Shelton. In our 4 seed, he is the short stack, at least for now. He is a local right here in Jacksonville. 295,000 is his chip count. Welcome to Ray Inseong. In our 5 seed, he is from Newton, Alabama. He has a chip count of 770,000. A round of applause for Robert Melton. In our 6 seed, he is our chip leader by a pretty good margin, at least for now. 1,815,000 in chips. He resides in Palm Coast, originally from Egypt, recently a naturalized U.S. citizen as well, and former Best Bet Jacksonville dealer. Man, that's a lot. Welcome to George Shinoda on the other side of the rail today. In our 7th seat, also from Jacksonville, chip count of 880,000. This is Ruben Javier. In the 8th seat, currently sitting 2nd overall in chips, also from Jacksonville, this is Thad McNulty. And rounding out our final table, again from Jacksonville, his chip count is 510,000. A round of applause for Steve Seckler. All right, gentlemen, congrats for making it this far. If you are knocked out next, you will receive $25.39 for 9th place. But of course, you're playing for 1st place, so good luck for you for that. Give you the chip count on that for your top overall prize in a little bit. Button starts in our 9th seat with Steve. We resume play with 14 minutes left with our blind level at 20,000 ante, 10,000 small blind, 20,000 big blind. First place up top, by the way, 26,501. Good luck to all of you. Congrats for making it this far. Shauna is our dealer. Shauna, shuffle up the dealer.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. Dustin Shacklock here with Eddie Marskoski. Taking a look at this final table of this $100,000 guarantee Bankroll Builder Weekend 360 buy-in. Final 9. Let's do it, Eddie. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Would rather be at the final table, but glad being here with you guys as well.
You banked a little cash, though, one time, right? Made it into the money?
Oh, yeah. I just busted 22nd. Got close. No cigar.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to jump right into the action here. Some of you guys might recognize that 6th seat right there. He was a dealer here for a long time. Also our chip leader here at this final table.
Yeah, George comes in with heaps. 1.8 million.
Coming in hot.
Lots of locals here. Thad McNulty, Steve Seckler. Lots of familiar faces. First place in this bad boy, $26,501. 9 players left, of course, right now. They're all guaranteed $2,539. So another big payday being paid out here. Jacksonville Best Bet. So we've got a 3-way pot here. First hand. Donnie with 2 jacks in the small blind.
Waking up with 2 jacks in the small blind first hand?
Something's off here because the 8 of hearts is in James's hand and on the flop.
Looks like we got a misclick there in the graphics right off the bat. We'll figure that out for you guys momentarily.
Looks like Donnie may have pocket jacks. Maybe James has just an 8. Not sure.
Somehow it looks like the 8 of hearts registered in 2 spots at the same time. That's a weird thing to have happen.
Well, James is going to bet the river, and looks like Donnie's going to lay down 2 jacks.
We got a special guest joining us shortly, huh, Eddie? Who do we got coming in the booth?
That's right. We have recently crowned WPT champion Josh Atkins, playing some high-stakes shorthanded cash up top. I asked him if he wanted to get in the booth, talk about his big win. So he'll be here momentarily.
Cool. And then later joining us, we're going to have Kelly Slay coming in and hanging out with us.
That's right. Hashtag Keddy.
Until then, you're stuck with me and Eddie here calling the action. Looks like Ray sticking it all in under the gun here with 2 10s.
Yeah, raised the short stack with 295,000. Under the gun, 2 10s. Fantastic hand in this situation.
Looks like this one's going to get through. Ray's got a free roll in orbit of blinds and antes one time. 2 10's good. Nobody looking down at anything to call him with. Button moves, and Ray picks up the blinds and the antes, turns around, puts them right in the big blind, and we're on to the next hand.
Blinds are 10,000, 20,000. We came in at the tail end of that level. That's when the 10th player was busted. Got down to the final 9, so we're going to finish out about 13 minutes of that level and then move on to the next, which is probably 12,000, 24,000. So when you've just seen Ray shove 295,000, about 14 big blinds, 15 big blinds.
Looks like Steve letting go of the 9-8 of clubs there in late position. He didn't want to take a stab at it.
Yeah, here in the early going, just getting a feel for the players, I guess. No, I'm okay with that. 9 high.
Looks like Ray's going to rip it again, back to back. This time with the Jack-8 of diamonds out of the big blind.
Small blind versus big blind. Ezekiel limps the 6-4 offsuit. Ray just jams the Jack-8 of diamonds. He's going to get Ezekiel to fold.
It works. He gets one through.
That's right. First 2 pots to Ray.
All right, guys. Looks like we're picking up a third commentator here in the booth, Josh Atkins, WPT Deep Stack Bounty Final Table winner, joining us here shortly. Getting him set up here, the headphones and the microphone, and then he'll be online with us. He's going to talk about his big win. He's going to help us break down some of these tournament hands. He's going to hang out with us for just a little bit. Josh Atkins, 2019 WPT Deep Stack champion. Josh, welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Doing well. Good to see you guys. Got a fun little sweat today. The final table.
Jumping right in. Bankroll Builder Weekend. Big deal here at Best Bet Jacksonville.
WPT champion, Josh. I think you need to be referred by that for a little while after you win.
Lucky Josh. Lucky Josh.
They got to call you champ for at least a year.
Also known as Lucky Josh. Anyone that takes one of them down is going to have some luck behind them, but no doubt.
Lucky Josh, one time. What are you playing out there in the room, Josh?
We just started a 5-10-25 PLO game. For some reason, it's been running every day since I've been here, so maybe I'm the fish.
There seems to be a common denominator here.
Yeah, we busted them up pretty good last night, but got lucky.
5-10-25.
Lucky Josh.
PLO on a Sunday night. Can't get much better than that.
I think we're playing a stream game Tuesday for the 5-10 quarter PLO.
Absolutely.
Should be a juicy one.
You guys can tune in right here Tuesday night see that 5-10-25 pot limit Omaha game here at Best Bet Live, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.
Big hand here. Couple of kings.
Robert's sitting on 680,000. 2 kings in the small blind. Folded to him. George is our chip leader in the big blind with queen 6 of spades. Let's see how Robert proceeds.
Limp.
Little blind versus blind action.
King's a pretty good hand at Nilla Hold 'em. That's
Not many better. Right, Robert's going to raise, and George is going to quickly fold. So Josh, you just won 333,000 unknown dollars. You had no idea they were coming your way.
right.
By far the biggest score, tournament score of your career. Kind of, I would assume it kind of changes the direction of, you know, where you're headed, your future. What's been going on?
I definitely didn't think I was gonna get the tourney bug, but I did. Especially after they told me I was in 5th for Player of the Year. So got to go chase that down.
Yes.
But yeah, as far as like any like extravagant purchases or anything, nothing crazy. Nothing's gonna change much. We're just gonna be grinding some cash and playing the occasional WPT mains. So
just adding a little more Hold'em tournament.
Yeah.
Schedule.
But still rocking the 4 cards and cash games and stuff. So okay, we got an all-in with was that Queen Jack suited?
Yeah,
This time Ray getting it all in with Queen Jack suited in the cutoff here. Queen Jack of hearts after a raise from 2 red 6s out of Donnie.
Wow, Ray getting pretty active. He's already shoved all in twice.
This is his 3rd time all in 5 hands. That's what you got to do when you're the short stack in these spots.
Yeah, definitely don't mind this shove at all. He's
Donnie,
got some fold equity still. And
Donnie opens the 2 6s on about 30 big blind stack. Going to be pretty tough to defend this shove. Be half of his stack. Yeah, he's going to lay it down.
There it goes. Ray picking up some more chips.
There you go. Ray up to 460,000 now.
He got a double up without ever having to go to showdown.
You're right.
Thanks again for tuning in with us, guys. We've had a busy weekend here at Best Bet Jack's. 3 big tournaments in 3 days. We still got our 350 monster stack going on here in the back of the room, finishing up this final table of this 100K guarantee. And yesterday, we had a $2,100 bankroll builder. Tell us about that, Eddie.
yeah, didn't you catch that, Tony?
Yeah, that was a great one. It was $2,100 buy-in, $500 knockouts, so it's a bounty. We got 30 players total. We paid, they started out paying 3 actually, but once we got to the final table, we did a little reconfiguration and we got it to pay 4. And actually, once we got down to 5 players, we even were able to pay the 5th guy $2,000. So we restructured the payouts, but it was still able to have a first place of right around 20,000. I ended up coming in 3rd, but and then they chopped it right after I busted. But it was a good turnout, great turnout, and I'm excited that Johnny added it to the schedule. I'm hoping. I was actually impressed with the 30. I wasn't sure that it'd even get that many. It did, and I think it'll get more next time. I think.
Right,
I think
absolutely.
everyone liked it. It was a good one-day structure, nothing too crazy. The bounties really always add a little extra bonus. I was able. I had 6 bounties too, so that helps.
What?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
that was nice.
Yeah, I planned on playing it. Just got a little deep into the cash game.
Yeah, I was
earlier.
wondering. Yeah, I talked to you the day before. I thought you was.
Yeah, we ended up playing until 9 a.m. I actually lost like a almost 35K pot, and was stuck like a million, but ended up only losing like 2K. So
Oh wow, nice.
not so bad. Felt like big winner.
Yeah, take you a nice nap after
Oh
that.
yeah. I see a couple familiar faces on the final table.
Yeah, lots of locals here. George, actually, the chip leader.
Former dealer.
Former employee here.
Okay.
Not too long ago. He actually took another dealing job elsewhere so he could focus and play more. So
Okay.
there you go.
I mean, I was a poker dealer at one point, so When I quit dealing poker, I had not enough dollars to do it. I just was an idiot and thought I did. So
The classic story.
Right.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I think that's the majority of the stories are like
yeah, I was like
right?
18 or 19 with like 10K and thought it was enough to just go on the full-time grind.
I got this 5-10 no limit. Hold 'em, here I come.
Yeah.
10K bankroll, 10 buy-ins. Let's do it.
Had a good weekend and thought he was going to beat the world.
Oh, yeah.
This time, Donnie opening up under the gun here with ace-queen offsuit. Folds around to Robert there in the hijack, looking down at ace-9 off. He decides to let it hit the muck.
It's a good fold.
This one might get through. Ace-queen off might be good here. Gets through Thad. Gets through the big blind. Donnie picks up the blinds and antes. We're on to the next hand. Let's take a quick look at the stack sizes if we can real quick, guys.
George with heaps, 1.8 million, nearly double Thad in second.
Not a whole lot of fluctuation since we fired it up. Mostly just Ray almost doubling his small stack there. There on the bottom, bringing up the rear. We're still at 10K, 20K. We should be going up here momentarily. Get a few more hands in at this level.
Now I want to say something about that last hand. We've seen Donnie open the ace-queen, and then it just go folded through. But something to notice in these spots is that he opened that hand to 80,000 at the blinds of 20K, so that's a 4x raise. And when we saw him open the 2 6s, he opened to 55,000. So possibly a little timing or a little sizing tell on his opens. The much stronger ones equal higher.
Oh, wow. I didn't see 4X. I thought he just min-raised him.
No, he made it 80 from under the gun.
That's why I thought ace-9 was such a good I thought he only had like 14 bigs.
Take notes, guys. Free tips from Eddie Marskoski here, live on Best Bet live stream here.
Ruben's my dog. I like Ruben.
Ruben coming in with a 7-5 suited one time.
Getting a little ambitious here. I like it.
A little ambitious.
Gets a pretty good flop.
Dream flop. Looks like Donnie might have got priced in there with the 10 deuce offsuit in the big blind.
Interesting price then. Ezekiel going to c-bet the ace-jack offsuit.
Yeah, Ruben will not be folding here.
Absolutely not.
Looks like you might be thinking about putting a raise out there. Where they want to see any more cards.
I actually don't mind it. Backdoor flush draw, deny some equity. Our hand's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm definitely raising this right here.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to bump it up, put in about 150 or 175. Makes it 150 to go.
There's about 70% of the deck that are bad cards for us on the turn.
That's right.
Not many good cards. Let's go ahead and take it down when our hand is the strongest it should be.
25,000
We don't wanna let
in
these
now, 15,000
overcards,
small
another
blind,
shot of hitting one.
25,000 big blind, and we are going to go through the break.
Yeah, Ezekiel has to lay it down.
Okay, so at the end of this level, we're going to keep it running. Okay.
Facebook, Twitch chat, thanks all you guys for joining.
No rest for the weary.
Been busy, haven't got to you, but I see you out there. Miss Terry, Jim, Joe, Lisa Kaminsky, Yancy, Vinny Caruso, half of the Ponytail Boys. No longer a member of the Ponytail Boys, Josh Atkins.
Yep, no more. Got that haircut finally. Pay jumps are insane.
Yeah, that's a big discrepancy between ninth and first.
Oh,
there.
yeah. That's what makes tournaments so beautiful, though. Like, big stacks can just put so much pressure on these middling stacks.
Agreed.
We dropped the payouts for you guys there in the chat. Take a look. First place in this event, taking home $26,501. Not bad for a 360 buy-in. About 15 hours of playtime, start to finish. Take home 26K.
Yeah, not a bad hourly.
26.5K one time. Somebody's going home with it.
It's more about the glory, though. We all know that.
They all want the glory. Speaking of glory, look at Ezekiel's beard. Glorious. From one beard to another.
I could probably get my beard out there. Whenever it gets to a certain length for me, I just can't do it anymore. It gets just to that annoying phase where I'm just fidgeting it, non-stop twisting it.
Yeah, the weird is beard because it's grown out of pure laziness, and then it gets to a point where it's more work than not having it.
Absolutely.
Right? So you have to pay for the laziness you have.
Right. Like, yeah, shaving is one of my least favorite things to do on the planet. It's probably up there like doing dishes, shaving, and laundry. Just not a fan of any of those three.
Thad coming in with a raise here out of the hijack with 2 jacks. Looks like this one's probably going to get through. Ezekiel can't defend with the 6-4 offsuit. Thad shows him.
Jonathan Jones says Tallahassee Poker in the house. That's right.
That's a buddy of mine from way back in the day. We go way back, like my recliner.
Wow. Wow.
I'll leave the dad jokes at the door. No more of those.
Eric, Miss Terry, Lisa, thank you very much.
Definitely missed that one.
Appreciate the love in the chat.
Let's see what Robert's going to do with these 2 6s under the gun. That's probably like bottom of the open range.
Yeah, blinds are up to 25,000 now. So he's got 730,000, a little less than 30 bigs.
Goes with the limp.
It's going to open limp here under the gun. Now this always handcuffs everyone else. You don't really know what to do here.
That's the domino effect.
Exactly. So then you got other people who don't want to raise and then get limp re-raised and
Ray's got
have to fold out. So
pretty good squeeze spot here.
Ooh,
there it goes.
Yeah, that's a nice squeeze.
We've seen Ray be very active and not afraid to put his chips in. With all these limps, I like it. Less than 20 big blinds, ace, jack, offsuit in the big blind.
A little more than half of Robert's stack to call here with the 2 red 6s.
Yeah, this is an impossible call for Robert with all the other players behind.
What a great move by Ray. Right place, right time, right hand, right position.
Yeah, Ray picks up over 20% of his stack without seeing a flop.
I think my boy Ryan Dunn would have just flicked in the king queen there. I watched him do it for 25K. Heads up, so.
I don't know if Ryan Dunn would have overlimped the king queen.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't have done that. You're absolutely right about that.
I don't know if he'd have found himself in exactly that spot.
King and a queen, pretty good hand.
Ray keeping his foot on the gas, taking down another one here pre-flop. Never having to sweat it on the flop. Not even once so far.
Nope. That's what you want.
That's right.
He's found some low-risk spots to chip up here early.
Ruben's definitely opening this like 100%. I've played a decent bit with him. This is just as he should with his stack.
There it is, coming in for a raise. Looks like 65K under the gun +1 with the queen 9 of hearts.
Oh, into a real hand here.
Oops. Gets folded around to Ezekiel here on the button, waking up with big slick offsuit.
Now Ruben's under the gun 1 here. I don't know if that's going to give Ezekiel any hesitation. No, he's going to go ahead and 3-bet it.
In position, I prefer this. If this is out of position, you can just rip.
Getting after it, Ezekiel making it 180K to go. Putting the pressure back on Ruben. Ruben knows if he calls, he's going to have to play a big pot out of position.
Well, yeah, the issue here is Ezekiel doesn't have enough chips. If Ezekiel were a million deep, the same as Ruben, maybe you can find some calls in there because you can play a big pot and get a lot more chips. But he's got 180,000 in there and only 430 behind. It's just not worth calling the extra 120,000 to get 430. Your hands. It's a bad price you're getting. He knows it. He makes a good fold. Ezekiel's happy he decided to open with the queen 9.
And we're on to the next one.
Just like that. Kristen Budrick, welcome to the chat, darling.
Kristen showing up to support. Hi, Kristen.
Always,
how you doing?
Always does.
Ezekiel after it again. This time Jack 10 offsuit from the cutoff, bumping it
work.
up. Yep, gets through the big blind of the chip leader. Picks up the blinds and antes. Button moves. We're going to see another one here at we're playing 15-25K, looks like.
I like that. Ezekiel not afraid to open Jack 10 offsuit, even on the chip leader's big blind. That makes for some entertaining poker. Keep going for it, guys.
Our chip leader is definitely a little card dead, but I'd like to see him be a bit more aggressive and start, pressuring these smaller stacks. There's so much ICM pressure you can apply just to pick up chips on the way to win the tourney.
Agreed. Chip leaders should really never stay too tight. More valuable to use those chips. Everyone has incentive to not play pots with you, even if it's just a little bit. So why not take that edge? You don't get it that often. It's hard to become chip leader.
So this time he's using the $80,000 size or 80,000 chip size. Oh my, 2 big hands.
Oh yeah.
This is probably getting in. Don't see Donnie folding.
Yeah, and Donnie's been jammed on twice already. Now Robert with the 2 A's on the button.
Donnie's only got about 25 big blinds to start the hand. A little more, about 28 big blinds to start the hand, something like that.
Robert double checking just to make sure it's true.
I'll tell you what, the final table we played, there were 2 different times I looked down at the ace-4 offsuit that I would have sworn on my mother that I had 2 aces, like more so than any cards I've ever played with in my entire life. Like the 4 was like squared off, and I was just certain I had 2 aces, but I'm glad I double checked.
Hopeful your eyes
Right,
made you see it.
So you went back for the old recheck?
Oh yeah, one time it was even suited, and I was like, wow, I got suited aces. This is awesome.
What are the chances?
Oh, GG.
Oh yeah.
The money's getting in. He flatted.
Yeah. Robert makes it 100,000 more. Donnie calls with the ace queen, and now it's a queen high flop.
Yeah.
Smells disaster for Donnie.
Wow, if he finds a fold here, I would just be.
I don't know.
There's just no way. What? What?
Top.
Wow.
In the muck.
Whoa.
Donnie, teach me, brother.
Donnie check folds ace queen on the queen high flop after putting in a third of his stack pre. Correctly.
That's next level.
Just give him the 26K right now.
Yeah, I just fold that pre then.
I don't know how we're going to lose players at this rate.
Right.
Wow.
It was an ACR flop right there.
Unorthodox correct fold by Donnie.
Wow.
Well played. Super unfortunate for Robert. He should have a whole bunch more chips in front of him.
Absolutely, and a ladder.
Exactly. Every one of these guys should have made a $400 pay jump.
Now he gets rewarded with 2 queens. Wow. How sick would it be if he comes back and wins this tournament after making that fold?
Now he gets it in.
Open jamming 320K.
12 bigs.
It's going to get through. Donnie rewarded with a good fold. Picks up a few more chips. Chris Brouch, welcome to the stream, sir.
Chris Brouch, what's happening?
My brother, Chris Brouchy.
Yeah, I saw Brouchy in here last night. He fired at this 100K.
Did he really?
I believe so.
I was just thinking that. I was saying, man, it's been a while since I've seen Chris Brouch at a final table, not because he's been running bad, just because he hasn't been playing.
Oh, yeah.
If he's playing, he's final tabling.
He's in retirement right now.
Oh, yeah?
He actually final tabled a tournament I won here like a few years ago.
Of course he did.
Yeah, Brouch is a beast. He's been around the game for a while. Actually, from Tally, or went to school in Tally. That's like how I know him. Yeah, Brouch, awesome dude.
Donnie picking up king queen under the gun.
Interesting. He just opened jams the 12 bigs. Now he's going to raise king queen. Andrew Dyke.
My boy. Go Gators, kid.
AD Gator. Welcome to the stream, sir. Former Best Bet local. Out of Destin now.
Donna, go back to work.
Donna Sparkle off work. Watching George do his thing.
This time, Donnie letting go with a king-queen offsuit under the gun. Open, folding, king-queen offsuit. Open, and then fold.
Not to be confused with open folding.
Open, and then fold. James ripping it with the 2 9s. Picking up some chips. He was getting a little short there.
Yeah, I like to play. 2 9s. You've seen Donnie open a few hands in a row. Can't give him too much credit. Although we know he's had some pretty good hands.
That's only because they didn't see him fold top on the flop.
I'd be 3-betting that guy too if I know he's that
Right,
type.
exactly.
Right.
Donna just on break. No, okay. Thanks for joining.
Ruben Blood. Oh. Okay, battle of the king queens.
All right, Thad is going to get involved there. He doesn't like to fold. Thad actually busted me with king queen in this tournament with 22 left for the chip lead. We got it all in on a jack 10 4 flop. I had jack 10. He had king queen. He bet 35K. He c-bet 35K. I piled in 350K on him.
Love his 3-bet here.
Oh, yeah.
It's his lucky hand.
And this is a hand that pretty easy to call a 3-bet with.
Small sizing.
King queen versus king queen. Heads up to the flop.
All right, let's play some poker.
Neither player with a spade.
This is tough for Ruben. These flops are even tough to represent. There's just paired flop that's so less likely to have anything. Rather like a 5, 6, 7 flop. You know, there's a lot of things you can have.
Yeah, those are just 3 X's out there on the flop. Bricks.
Yep. Thad c-bets. Yeah. Position takes that one, both with king queen. Thad takes it down.
So are they turning the 2100 into like a monthly thing now, or?
I don't know about that. I do think that he is looking to add it into the series that they create.
Okay.
So when they do have series, I think it will be here.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, one day tourneys, like it being the first time, I think it's just gonna grow and grow. A lot of these guys will travel to play those.
Yeah, I agree. 2100 is a reason to come up, even if it's just for a day.
Absolutely.
Anyone within 6, 7 hours, I think that's worth it. Especially we're getting 20K plus in the prize for first place.
Absolutely. It's hard to win 20K in a day.
This tournament right here has 368 players, and first is 26,000. So
Right.
And you got to play 2 full days to get it.
Not to mention, come up here for the 2100, bust that. You can stick around and play the 350 Monster Stack on Sunday. Still going on right now.
I love trapping here with the aces. I don't know if you guys watched the final table, but love the call.
Donnie getting dealt monsters on the short stack. I love it too. Very easily can get his stack all in. Don't scare anyone off pre-flop.
Yeah, he's gonna make a little extra too. What? That graph? No way. That graphic's right.
Okay,
There's just no way.
I tell you what.
There's just no way.
Knowing that obviously the graphics were wrong there, I would say chances are they were wrong on the ace queen of hearts.
Right.
As well.
Right. Absolutely.
Donnie
There's just
isn't making
no
these Mike Possum
way
folds.
that's real. There is no way. I mean, Mike Paso wouldn't have folded there. He would have just called because he just had a king high over there.
Drawing dead.
Oh, wow, king 10 versus aces? What? I've seen that before. On the 8-5 deuce board.
That's what he got it in. That was your
Yeah, that was the
Big one
that was the
turned
hand
around.
where I knew it was a whole different game.
It's time. Played very well, might I add. Got him to bluff it all
Well,
in.
he got me to fold in a similar spot. So whenever I raised flop, I just like it was because I knew he had some spaz in him. Earlier in day 3, he like 4-bet me, and I had the 2 queens and called, and then called like a down bet on the flop of 6-6-7, and the turn was a 9, and he just ripped into me. 6-6-7, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, and I fold, and he shows the 5 of hearts. So I knew it was inside of him, and I knew he felt like he was just owning me all day. So
Waited him out.
yeah, I just put in the raise to induce, if you will. I knew it was just coming. And then whenever he tanked, I almost like just lost it. I almost started smiling. I was like, wow, here it comes.
He's gonna do it.
Yeah, he's about to
You
blast.
just have that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Okay. Playing a little pot here. Queen Jack suited.
You guys asked for it. We got the chip leader involved in a hand.
Here we go.
George opens Queen Jack, and Ruben 3-bets 2 10s. And George defends.
Probably going to get a check call here.
He does not want to see a 10. George doesn't want to make it straight here.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. But as far as against his range, he's got a fine peel. Actually, I don't know. 600 behind. Yeah. Oh, boy. I love the move. It's just not going to work here. I love the aggressiveness.
George coming in with the check raise over the top. Ruben.
He blocks queens, blocks jacks. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean,
And he is going to have decent equity against him.
your opponent can really only have 10s, jacks, queens, kings, or aces. All his ace kings and ace queens and ace jacks and random king queen, the 3-bets all have to fold. But we know here he's up against one of those hands that he doesn't want him to have. George is going to make us think like he has a decision here, but
Yeah, here comes the Hollywood fold.
this is going to be too much for him to.
Even if he had, 2 7s or ace 9 here, I don't know how he would be in the pot, but I think he could easily find a fold. He knows Ruben's not messing around trying to get busting 9th,
Yeah, I agree.
Nice spot for Ruben there.
Jenny Rodriguez, welcome to the stream. Possibly on break as well.
New chip leader, Mr. Ruben.
Let's take a look. After that big pot between George and Ruben, some stacks shifting around a little bit. Ruben taking the chip lead, 1.675 million. George lost about, 500K in that pot? I
Yeah,
can't hear it.
yeah.
About 500K?
He check raised at
Yeah.
350. So
Yeah, that's right. There was a 3-bet pot pre.
Biggest pot of the tournament so far.
Ruben made it
Absolutely.
150 pre, I think.
Yep. Now we can play some poker. Gotta get
Nice.
a couple
I like
guys
it.
deep.
I like the chips getting spread out a little bit. We're going to see some more action.
Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us, guys, on the end of our Bankroll Builder weekend. First time we've done something like this, and I think it was pretty cool. I think it's a pretty good success.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we'll see it again.
I mean, it's hard to find tournaments in North Florida where you can win 25,000. This is awesome.
2 days back to back, you can win 20K.
Right,
Saturday,
insane.
Sunday, back to back,
Absolutely.
win 20K. 40K weekend.
You play the right cash game, you can have a 40K weekend here too. The game I was in the last 2 nights, I assure you, you could win that.
Oh, yeah, it gets good on the weekends for sure. Gloria, Heather, Patty, well, welcome to the stream.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thad gonna lead here with the second nut low.
Yeah, we're gonna see some creative things from Thad. Thad likes to splash around, and he's very dangerous. And
Right.
you know, he can.
I mean, I'm a fan of it. You're
Oh,
at the
yeah.
bottom of your range. Like, how can you win the pot?
Yeah, when you got a hand like this, there's no, check folding is all the only strategy unless you go for it.
I got here when we went to the redraw at 27 left. I got here, and Thad had a monster chip stack. Thad probably had over $1 million. He definitely had over $1 million with 27 left. He's taken a couple hits since then, but.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard the hand. We played the hand for the chip lead.
Oh, that must have been right after you. That might have.
That's when he busted me.
That was right after he stung you.
Yeah, those hurt.
Yeah, that was a monster we played.
That was almost an 800K pot, huh?
Oh, yeah, it was a little more, yeah.
I actually busted like that in the 570 the week before the 5K. I busted with ace jack on jack 10-3 against the king queen, and then I swore off tournaments. And then the next week we just found ourselves in a 5K. You know, biggest buy-in I've ever played.
I hope that's my path as well, Josh.
Right, pretty good result in that one though. Pretty
week,
good result.
Next week
Yeah.
we're gonna have a big one.
Nice turnaround. Nice turnaround, buddy.
James going to ship all in for $520,000. Donnie on the short stack, 205 is going to call off. Ace Jack offsuit. It's going to need an ace to stay around.
Yeah, there's just no way those graphics were correct. There's just no way. Not because of this particular hand, but I mean he's obviously going with this with 8 bigs. Okay, we got a sweat.
Picking up a little equity there on the turn.
Good game, Donnie. That's a nice run, sir.
Yeah.
Ace Jack could not get there. Donnie going home in 9th place, taking home $2,539 for his efforts. $2,539. Spun it up from a $360 buy-in. Everyone else ladders up. Next person out is going to take home almost $3K, taking home $2,981 for an 8th place finish. But that's not why they're here. They're playing for that top prize, $26.5K up top.
Yep, one step closer, every one of these guys.
And most importantly, the glory.
The glory.
I'm telling you,
And
like
the glory.
when I was short 3-handed in that tourney, there was a point where I thought I was about to get paid $155,000, and I was actually depressed about it. I mean, you could see it on my face whenever I was like short-handed. And then I woke, I found the ace on the turn, and all of a sudden looked alive again.
Boom.
Josh, when you won that thing, did you go back and spend a lot of time watching the play, or did you just wrap it up and move on to the next one?
I felt like I was giving stuff off whenever I was deep or maybe had a big hand, and I wanted to go back and make sure that I wasn't.
Smart.
Like the second hand we played or whatever, and I flopped a set of 9s. Like I literally felt my eyes getting like bigger. Like I felt them. And I was like, stop, calm down. And then the first like few pots I entered, there was definitely some nerves because like I had a huge rail there. So, and that was like a big thing for me. Like I felt like a lot of pressure because I wanted to like my parents, I wanted to show them like, well, like this is me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show
this
is what I've been doing for the past 10 years.
Right. So there was definitely some nerves. But that I picked up on. But after that, I really felt like I didn't give much away. But, yeah, I did go watch the stream. By the way, I appreciate all the kind words. You guys were awesome in the booth.
Yeah, no problem.
And it was cool to see that, like early on, I knew Jason, like, the money was so important to him. Like, and so I was, like, pressuring his big blind a lot. Like, opening it, like, honestly, I don't even remember my hands. I would open, like, 8-6 off no matter what. Like, if I saw him in the big blind, just because I knew I could just, like, it was, especially when Josh Cave folded, it was just so, like, I was just going to abuse that. And I did it really light a couple of times, but Tyler was even able to see that, like, no, this is what he's doing. That was, like, pretty cool to, for him to understand my thoughts. Honestly shocked myself with some of the thoughts I had during that tournament because I don't play tournaments. It's, like, insane.
Nothing more valuable than the experience.
Right.
You get so much better just by going through
and
it.
That's the thing. It's so funny. Like, I actually study tournaments, like, nonstop. Like, but I just never play them. But it does intrigue me. Like, the game is really, there's like a way different dynamic than there is with cash.
Absolutely.
It's a whole different playbook.
Yeah, and to me it's just more interesting, but I just, like, I'm just not that guy. Like, I'm better deeper and being able to pressure some people, which is why, like, I think I had a lot of success on the early days of this tourney. I was never under 100 bigs ever until the final table.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's really hard to have 100 big blinds in a tournament.
Right. It was just smooth sailing the entire time. Except for I had a punt on day 2, but
you're right. That's your comfort zone. If you play a lot of deep stack cash, you like being around 100, 200 big blinds.
Absolutely.
You can get there in a tournament. You're in your element at that point.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a different game, a little bit more psychological, but
no doubt. I mean, and that structure is just, I mean, there's one tournament that you can find a better structure than that, and that's the main event every year.
It's very forgiving structure.
Right.
Yeah,
that structure was just insane.
Those 5Ks are the best structure out there.
Zach Sheffield, my boy from Tallahassee.
Zachary. Stephen Fraser, what's up, buddy?
Leon County Sheriff in the chat. My boy.
Frazier in the chat. What's up, Steve?
That's right. Mike Berry. A lot of best bet. Tuning in.
I love it. Take a quick look at the stack sizes here. We've had, since we lost Donnie there in the 1 seat, we've had some chips shifting around. Ruben's still on top with over 1.6. This time, Steve bringing up the rear, 420. I don't think we've seen him play a hand. Steve there in the 9 seat.
Yeah, he's been pretty snug here.
I don't
card
think,
dead.
he's going to have to get it in at some point.
Folded his way down. He's a short stack now, sitting on about 16 bigs in the big blind.
Oh, really? Yeah, there should be.
Wow, 16 bigs is the shortest stack. We got some poker to play, boys.
Ezekiel looking down at ace 10 suited under the gun +1. Making it 55K to go, just over a min click there.
Brandon, yeah, for me personally, I think for me, I'm such a competitive person. Like, if I take a girl to the fair, I don't let her beat me in fair games, you know? Like, I want to win. So that's the thing about tournaments is you can win a tournament for 75K and feel, like, great about it. But if you get third in a tournament for 75K, to me it just wouldn't feel, like, great. Because to me it's just about the win. I want, like, poker trophies are hard to get.
The glory. You want the glory.
Absolutely. Cash games for dough, tourneys for show.
What'd you do with your trophy?
I didn't get it yet. They haven't mailed it to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now I'm starting to, like, even wonder if I'm actually getting one. I know my name is on a poker trophy forever, which is pretty awesome.
Along with some of the best of all time.
Right.
Have you ever looked at that
yeah,
thing?
it's actually incredible, man.
That thing is
my
cool.
like long after I'm dead, like my name is in poker history. Like that's pretty cool.
We get that trophy here in the room. We get it about a month before the main event, and it sits up front. And I just looked at it for so long.
Yeah,
Looking
it's
at all
insane.
the cool names.
It's insane. I
just think about the stories behind some of the hands to get those guys there.
Right. Like even getting to play the TOC this coming up year, it's
super
like
cool.
It's such like an honor. Like it's almost like unbelievable. Like. And could you imagine, like, if I somehow won WPG Player of the Year? Like, WPG Player of the Year, that's just ridiculous.
It can be done.
It's just,
yeah, man. Don't discount yourself.
Win one more.
That's right.
One more.
That's it.
One more. If I win one more, I'm done with tourneys forever. I'm just done. I'm
just walking away.
Yep.
Taking my ROI and going home.
Yeah, you guys just did, yeah.
Got Ezekiel open ace 10 of hearts to 90K, and George's going to pick the ace 5 offsuit to 3-bet. To 200K. Again, small sizing really forcing Ezekiel to call with nearly 100% of his range. This is all in turn.
Yeah,
none of that means anything.
This is an unorthodox hand. I wonder if George will follow through.
Got graphics.
Wow. Did he just cram? Oh, my gosh.
Puts him in.
Ripped his last 850 there on the river. 7 of diamonds coming in.
It's going to work.
It has to.
I'd love to see a 5 of diamonds or the ace of diamonds in his hand here for a blocker. But, I mean, it's going to work. Well-timed aggression.
There's already $1.5 million in the middle.
I mean, maybe. I think it's going to work.
Yeah, hold on. He hasn't folded yet.
If he finds a call here, man.
Yeah, this would be heroic.
It's almost like he knows he has to be good, but he just can't.
Right.
He can't afford to be wrong.
Yeah, let's see if he can find the cape out of the closet. Put it on really quick. Yeah, there's just no way, man.
He knows he's good. He just can't afford to be wrong.
It really sucks having a 10 in your hand because you block like a decent bit of the bluffs that he could have, you know, like the jack 10s, the 10-9s, like hands like that. So just having a 10 is pretty tough to make a call like that.
George keeping his foot on the gas, gets right up to about $1.5 million after that pot.
George came in at about 1.8, 1.9, slipped down a little bit, now climbing back up.
Like Josh said, we got a lot of poker. A few minutes ago, 16 big blinds was the shortest stack.
Well, these guys are playing too. This is
yeah, it's nice to see, and especially in a buy-in like this. And I know these. There's more than enough capable players left in the field. It's awesome to see, like the YOLO-ness, if you will. Like they're not worried about this 2,900. They're all playing to win. So
yeah,
that's cool. I like it. Eddie knows sometimes we run these streams and it can get pretty snug right around this time when we first get to that final table.
Well, I would say most times, really. This is a great table.
Right.
Lines up great for action. These guys, like Josh said, really playing for the first place prize, not the ladder ups, which is what we want to see as the audience.
Absolutely.
James Call and Stephen Fraser both commenting on George's play. Steve says, pretty impressed with that shove.
Buddy, I'm impressed as well. That was a nice play. Nice read.
I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. George is an exception. Most poker dealers are not this good at poker. If you see a poker dealer at your table, don't get scared that they just watch poker hands all day and they can soul read.
Oh yeah, agreed.
George is an exception.
I remember whenever I first quit poker, how bad I was or quit dealing. How bad I was because I dealt poker. Like, when you're in the box all day, you just see so many people getting lucky. So you're just like you'll start like overcalling bottom pair and pots where you just like, what are you doing? Because you've just seen them turn trips too many times. Like you know,
you see so much luck.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't realize that it's a different person each time.
Right, exactly. It happens 5 times in a day, but you're dealing, hundreds of hands that day. So
you just want to get in the action.
Right.
They hate missing out on the action.
That was tough. Like that didn't help the cause back then.
That was a reality check, huh?
Oh yeah.
Still at 15K, 25K with a 25K big blind ante here, guys. Should be going up here in a few minutes.
Are they playing 40-minute levels?
40-minute levels today, yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
40-minute levels.
Yeah, 30-minute day 1, 40-minute day 2. I like that.
Yep.
We paid 40 players in this, 368 total. Paid 40, 8 left. First place, $26,501.
That's Sean P. Dwan.
Sean P. Dwan.
What's up? How's your brother, Tom?
Tom's brother, Sean. Probably Tom, just using his brother's account. Doesn't want the world to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Studying the best bet 360s.
Blind on blind action here. Turn a king.
Ezekiel making the best hand out of the small blind. Decided to limp the king jack offsuit. That's one big blind. It's going to work.
Yeah, definitely going to work. There were a couple spots like this in that 5K where I would just like that hand exactly and flop second pair or whatever and just value bet every street just because tan is. The only way to beat aggression is with aggression. I truly believe that. So.
Oh yeah. Tan, any other strategy, you're falling into their trap.
Right. Exactly. So. Yeah, that was I was glad I got to get it against him. I would have never thought that. At no point during the day, I would have never thought that me and Tan were playing. He played so incredible three-handed. It was like I went back and watched that, and I was like if I'm in his seat, I'm busted, way busted.
Oh yeah.
I definitely think I bet too much whenever he turned that queen when I flop top set against him. But on the river, I should have sized down. But, like, him, like, opening and folding sixes off, like, 17 bigs or whatever three-handed, that was just, like, just so many times he should have lost.
Agreed. Tan played great. Really, that was a fun final table to watch. Like there was a lot of great plays, and in a 5K you're gonna get that a lot of experience.
Absolutely high level thinking. Those guys. The rate it was happening at the beginning, I was like, wow, dude, I'm gonna like get to go to dinner with my people, and then like get to go out with them and stuff. But I mean, that was going into the day, I thought we were in for like a 12 or a 13-hour day. But yeah, we lost two pretty quick, and then the third held on for a while, or the fourth, the guy Jason who came in fourth held on for a while, and then when we got a three-handed, I just thought it was never going to end. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, they can, with that good structure, they can drag on for a while.
Yeah.
I think I got here at like 8 or 9 from my shift that day, and you guys had just
the tourney had ended at 8, and yeah, we definitely the night didn't end at 8. I promise you that.
Nope. Steve Seckler shoves the pocket queens on the short stack, gets it through, gets him up to over 500,000.
He's thinking about time.
Yeah, he's been patient. Steve came in with a pretty good stack and ran it up. Just like you were talking about, Josh, he was able to pretty much coast his way here. Now we've seen him getting a little card dead, getting a little short.
Yep.
Going to have to build it back up.
That can get discouraging too, especially if you lose like a big pot where you value own yourself with one pair right before break.
It's just another challenge. Just think of it that way. Oh, they're going to make it a little more difficult. No problem.
This hand's just too good to raise. I'm not a fan of opening the queen jack hand, but whoa, George
coming in with the pump fake.
Hell yeah.
George limping the 8-6 offsuit, running right into the queen jack of Ruben there in the big blind.
I'm a fan of just taking flops like that. I really love like raising the bottom of your range and absolute top of your range. But 10 jacks, king jacks, queen jacks, like those hands just flop too well. There's no need to blow pots like that. But it works. So next hand.
No, I agree. I think those hands have a lot of value when you flop top pair, because a lot of times they have a worse top pair.
Exactly.
And, because they're going to be limping all their jack 7, jack
Absolutely.
8, jack 6 even, like sometimes jack 4 and jack 5.
And then when you do get limped raised, it's just like, wow, why didn't I check? Like queen jack plays so well.
Yeah, and really if you're going down the card tree branch, if you get the queen jack and you're opening that, you're just opening too many hands.
Right, absolutely.
And that can just be exploited by, like you said, limp raising.
Right. I'm a big fan of like 3 or 4xing napkins, like your hands that just have no value and don't flop well, but because those are just easy to play.
Right. For the exact opposite reason. If you raise the deuce 6, it's because you want to get the king deuce and the queen
absolutely,
deuce
absolutely.
and the 6 tens and the 6 jack. You don't want to flop one of those pairs when they have the big
exactly.
Ones. It's the exact it's the exact opposite thinking.
All right, blinds are up, guys. Blinds are going up. I think we're at 1530K. Is that what I heard?
30,000 big blind.
There we go. 75K in the middle, every hand. Out there for the taking.
And everyone's stack gets a little smaller. Heather Ward says, "Go George, playing to win." That's right, he is. Playing well, playing to win. I think a couple of these guys doing the same thing. Robert's going to ship the king 10. Robert's got $1 million. Big shove.
Whoa.
This is over 30 big blinds.
What is it?
He says, come and get it. All you can eat.
Thad with ace 10 in the big blind.
So if Robert was chip leader here, I love his play. Like I absolutely like I'm in love with it because you can do it with like all your ace-3 suited, and you just put so much pressure on stacks like Chad, right, or Thad, right? But when you're covered, I'm not a huge fan of it. But like I get it. He doesn't want to play the king 10 offsuit in a pot, so just ripping it. He got a better hand to fold, so I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'll say this, Josh, and here's the thing. When you're playing at a table with a bunch of players that are really good, you know, and if you're studying tournaments and not, you know, like you just played a 5K WPT, it's a table of a bunch of really good players.
Absolutely.
So the edges are much smaller, much more slight. So doing things like that actually becomes more profitable against good players. Now, when you have what you would feel as an edge on the field, and you're doing things like that, you're just giving that edge away.
Right.
There's so much value in your big stack having 40, 50
Absolutely,
big blinds against players that are worse than you in theory. That play actually at a different level of stake becomes worse. I feel.
Well, the money's getting in here. Ray and Ruben will be all in. Or Ray will be all in, and Ruben will be calling.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Ray's going to let this one go when he gets back around to him.
Nah, hand too good.
Making it 250 to go on the button with 2 jacks.
If he folds here, the graphics are just wrong, like confirmed.
This one's pretty standard. Ray's going to be at risk.
We got to flip. Well, they said they're going to run it once. That's it. No,
just once. That's surprising. Ruben's going to run a twice guy.
Clean flop. He's got a hard, too. It's going to be tough for Ray to win this one.
Tough for the ace-king.
That'll do it, Ray. Very good game.
There you have it. Ray's going to come in 8th place for $2,981. Well done, sir. Came in rather short. Got some shoves, some bluff shoves through.
Got one more level up than he was supposed to.
Yeah, one ladder.
Sure.
And those are huge and long term.
Well, he was able to ladder, and he put himself in a position
to actually win the tourney.
He wins that flipping. He's right back in that thing with a healthy stack and can really put pressure on other players. Just so happens he lost.
And that's why I'm not a tournament guy right there.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone did the right thing. You can't be mad at it.
It just happens. It's poker.
Walk away getting 8.
Yep.
Ray's going to hit the rail, go get paid his $2,900. Next player out's taking home $35.33.
All right, we're about to start coming into some money here.
That's right.
Yeah.
$35.33 for a 7th place finish here at the final table of our Bankroll Builder 100K.
They're playing for $10K between first and second. That's wild. That's a big heads-up match.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even like try in front. When we got to heads up, I immediately asked for a break to go try and talk some numbers with Tan because we were so close in chips, and I just like I haven't played heads up no limit. I haven't played no limit hold'em in forever, but heads up no limit hold'em I used to. That's what I played online whenever I was an online poker player. But I haven't played it in years. So I was like, let's try and take some variance out of this, you know. And then I was outside. He was making a phone call. I was making a phone call. And we kind of, all my boys were out there, and obviously they're hyping me up, like, don't do it, like, let's ride. One of them literally said, like, dude, this is the most Josh Adkins thing ever. Like, dude, you're going to win. Like, don't do it. And we kind of just at the same time, you know, came up with the same conclusion. Like, we were just going to play it. Like, so we played for $120,000.
I think you have to. How many shots at that do you get in your whole life?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't happen. Like, for me, like, I still don't believe it, honestly. Like I'll wake up and, like, you know, someone's, you know, WPT champ Josh Adkins, what's up? And I'm just like, dude, what? Like, we went out in Tallahassee a couple nights after I won it, and, like, someone asked to take a picture with me. Like, like that's just wild. Like,
recognized.
You're like, who do you think I am?
Right. No, they actually come up to me and they're like, dude, congratulations. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, I'm just trolling. And they're like, wait, you're not the guy? And I'm like, what guy? And they were like, I swear I just watched you play poker. And we just kind of both started laughing. And I was like, yeah, that was me.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I am that guy.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that's me.
It only sucks a little because, like, I wish more girls watch poker. Because I don't get me wrong, I love the attention, but it's all from dudes.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. The girls don't find it all that impressive.
Right. They're like, what'd you win?
Yeah.
And then if I like explain it to them, then I even sound like a bigger tool.
They're like,
So,
oh, cool, I love blackjack.
yeah, that's the best is when you tell someone you play poker for a living and they're like, can you count cards? And if you ask me that question, I'm just gonna say yes. Yep, I know how to count cards. Yep.
All 52 of them.
Yeah, I don't feel like explaining to someone if that's the question they're asking me.
You guys are just tuning in. We got Josh Atkins, 2019 WPT Deep Stacks champion, joining myself.
Whoa. Yeah, don't do that to me.
No WPT deep stack. This was the big boy.
The big boy, yeah. Sorry, yeah, the big boy.
WPT
My
5K.
fault. That's
main
right.
event champion.
That's right.
Yeah.
I misspoke. I shortchanged you there. My apologies.
Maybe I'll have to try and win a deep stacks. I haven't played one of those, I don't think.
Those are good too.
Yeah. I mean, my buddy who's playing cash with me like this weekend, Jeff Trudeau, won the one in Tampa. We both left Vegas to take like a week break from the series this summer, and he wins the WPT Deep Stacks in Tampa for $120,000.
Yeah, those are good over 100K for first.
Yeah, and those are really good structures too, actually.
Jeff Trudeau, shout out.
Yeah, he's actually
Monster in his own right.
Oh, legit, probably the best tournament player I know. Like for the amount of like small buy-in and volume that he's put in at the lower levels, for him to have 1.8 million in earnings is just like unheard of. Like I truly believe no one I know if they played the same amount of buy-ins would have that.
No, he's a grinder. He plays it all.
Yeah, he's a different beast. Yeah, I actually up to that point in my life, the biggest tourney sweat that even I ever had in my life, I had 20% of him in the WSOP circuit main in NOLA, and I watched him just like lose a chip lead pot, or like literally for 35% of the chips in play with 12 left, where he flopped the stones and the guy flopped a flush draw, and the turn was a brick, and we're just like, let's go. We're like, it was one of those ones where you felt like you were gonna win too, you know. Like there's some where you just like know the club's coming.
Oh yeah, the different feels.
Yeah, but this one was just like, oh my gosh, this is it. He's gonna win the tourney, and there's like 300K up top, and it's club. Yeah, that one was brutal. It's like a legit 100,000 in equity, like at least that. That's how big the pot was.
Yeah, those swings are ridiculous
Yeah.
when you get down. And these monster payouts at the end like that. Well, that's what we signed up for.
Yep. That's why we play the game. Get it in 70% for 100,000 essentially. I'll flip that quarter all day.
Just hope to have it again.
Right. But then like hands like the Ace-7 versus Queens happen, you know, where you get like that, like I can't complain forever. Because, like, that hand and, like, you know, just, like, that's all the equity.
And then you feel bad forever complaining, like, oh, I should have known something like that was going to happen.
Exactly. It's just, like, I just got all that EV back. Like, in that one hand, it's so sick. That's why tournaments are crazy, though.
Yep,
you know?
Agreed. It can erase everything.
I'm a big fan of this guy's outfit, by the way.
Which one's that?
The Robert orange polo logo with the orange shirt and the brown logo. Okay.
Matching polo hat and shirt.
I see you.
That's the color of Tang. Remember Tang?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That was definitely a thing when I was a kid.
The Tang orange right there.
Oh yeah. See, this is fine. Like yeah, just defend here. Both hands are gonna play pretty well.
George bumping it up out of the small blind with 9-7 of clubs, getting a quick call from Ruben. Oh,
big flop. I'd love to see a just call here.
Oh, absolutely.
Your hand's just too good.
You have too much of the board.
Yeah.
George has no deuces, and you have all the kings and queens.
Sometimes you get caught up with the thoughts of like, oh well, what if I just coolered him and stuff like that. But if you cooler him, you just cooler him. Exactly. The money's gonna go in anyway. So.
Yeah, if he's got ace king, king jack, something like that, he ain't
wow.
Oh, what a turn.
A little shut down by Ruben. Fun turn would have been like the 10 of clubs.
Oh yeah. See if George continues to go for it.
Oh, 9. He might get a street here. Ruben he might pay something off here.
George making a 2-pair here on the river.
All right, it's gonna go bet, raise, fold.
Yeah, I don't even like this lead. From
yeah,
George.
I don't like it at all. Just let him bluff.
There's really nothing that's gonna call you that's
That we beat.
Worse, yeah.
I mean, if you like your hand at showdown, just let him bluff. There's no need to.
And a good portion of Ruben's range is 10 jack.
Right,
I mean,
exactly. And all the jack nine still and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
like all the other stuff's just gonna fold. He's just gonna fold out.
Everything that could have possibly
Right,
bluffed, too.
exactly.
Your hand actually turned into a good bluff catcher.
Wow, I'd like to see some thought here, not just a snap.
We're going to see another pump fake, maybe?
I'm pretty sure he's calling. It looks like he's calling.
I don't think he can look this up. It'll be a huge misstep.
Yeah, he just has too much 10 jack. Even, I mean, hands that he could. Wow.
Oh, George makes the call.
I mean,
Gets the bad news.
I mean, what he's hoping he has
Ruben's pretty aggressive. There's some hands that honestly like
random ace highs, or
Right.
ace 10 or something.
that. I was even gonna say like
four or something.
I don't. Those hands are just not good hands to bluff with.
Well, the problem here is Ruben is raising the river when George could easily have the 10 jack as well.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
Like if George is opening the 9-7 suited, he's opening the 10 jack.
Right,
suited.
absolutely.
So Ruben is throwing a little caution to the wind as well, and George could have picked up on that.
I mean, his two bluffs are like most of his bluff combos are just two hands that are too good to bluff, like ace jack, ace 10. Like those hands are just too good on the river to bluff. So,
Agreed.
yeah, not gonna find many bluffs there. Ruben with a runaway chip lead now.
George taking a big hit with that one.
Two tens on the gun for Steve.
Interesting.
I like the open. I like the open
He
actually.
opens 85 on a rather short stack.
We just saw Steve's got 15 bigs.
He's gonna get called here by 2-8s, pretty sure. I mean, I'm not folding 2-8 here.
At least called. We've seen
Right.
Robert stick 30 bigs in with king 10 offsuit.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. Nothing wrong to see here. All right. And then heater. Is he on a heater? Are we about to have a heat check?
He's gonna want to get Steve.
I mean,
all
this
in
is
on
such a
it.
good squeeze spot. Like, you got such a good spot here. Here.
Ruben putting in the big 3-bet here to 275K out of the small blind after Steve opens the 2 10s. Gets a flat call from Robert with the 2 red 8s. Ruben taking advantage of it here. Trying to just take the pot down right here. Steve getting pretty short.
I mean, you can't fold here.
Yeah, I don't think he can find a fold here.
It's time to try and win the tournament right here.
Ruben's our chip leader and one of the most likely to be messing around doing this, getting a little out of line. We know he's not, but wow. Steve's gonna save his tournament life. Fold the 10s. Robert's gonna.
He's almost deep enough here to properly set mine. Just because, I mean, if you flop an 8, you're thinking you win the tournament. But I think he's a little too short to actually set mine. I mean, like.
Yeah, I think it's a lot.
He's going to give it a shot.
You know, if he has like 1.5, 1.6, like I don't hate it at all. Just because his thoughts, I know what he's thinking. You flop an 8, you win the tourney. So.
It's one of those spots where you're just either barely ahead or you're way behind. Here he goes right here. Still in the lead.
Love it. Keep the aggression.
Well played here by Ruben.
Love it. No mistakes. Don't give him the chance
I mean, Robert's hand looks like exactly what it is.
Exactly.
That's the problem here. Like,
Right,
exactly. You don't have a lot of strength when you played your hand that way.
Right. Your hand just so face up. He has so few hands he can call with too, like ace jack, 7s, 4s, and if he played queens or kings like this, like you deserve the chips, buddy. And this is what I wanted to see from George early. Pressure like this. You know, so much pressure on these middling stacks that there's guys shorter with you than you in the tourney still that are more than likely going to bust before you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Robert's still with 725K. We just seen that Steve has, less than 15 big blinds now since he just opened and folded the 2 10s. That's the ICM pressure.
Let's see what happens here, and then I'm going to go grab some food, and then I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. But, yeah, there's just no way he can call here. If he calls here, he's... I mean, it sucks because even if you are putting him on a hand like ace-king or ace-queen, it's like he's still got a bunch of equity with those hands. So
Yeah, at worst they have 2 overs and back
right,
Broadway.
it's
draws.
like okay, if you call and you're right, it's like still sucks. You know, you
He
still got
makes
to
the
fade.
fold, folds and shows it.
Good fold.
Steve tells him, "I had you." Ruben's like, "Whoa."
Right.
Didn't think I got a hand like that
Right.
to fold.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go grab some dinner. I will see you guys shortly. Eddie, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining.
Cool, Josh.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for hanging out with us. Thanks for joining us. Check back in later.
Will do.
We'll be here till this thing's done.
Yes, sir. All right, take care, guys.
Next up in the booth, Kelly Slay,
Kelly Slay coming to join us here.
my partner in crime.
Coming to hang out with us on this final table of this Bankroll Builder Weekend, 100K guarantee. Kelly's getting in, getting situated, and he'll be here hanging out with us for a little bit. Kelly, what's up? What's happening?
All right, I'm in.
There he is.
Sorry for the downgrade. You got a WPT winner fresh out of the seat, and now you stuck with me.
Kelly, you played this thing. What did you do in this thing? How'd it go?
Well, I came back with a whopping 2 big blinds today
Oh,
after losing a big pot right at the buzzer last night before the bag.
That's the
and,
worst.
Got it in with an ace, got beat by King Jack, and that was a wrap. But my better half made it into the 20s, 20-something, made a fairly small cash, so she outlasted me again.
Yet again. Well, you know what? This feels like deja vu. Every time we come in here,
Deja
female
vu.
Kelly Slay is out playing male Kelly Slay.
That's right. Deja vu all over again. Know what Yogi Bear said? Yogi Berra. So what did I miss?
Oh, we've actually, George, who is former best bet dealer, come in with a big chip lead, and now he was the only one with over $1 million. He had 1.8, and now there's several over $1 million. The stacks have kind of evened out a little bit. We've been seeing some creative things. This has been good. It's been entertaining.
Okay,
Well,
good.
You can
We'll
tell
get
by the
you a,
makeup here.
Yeah, well, here's Thad.
Thad doing Thad things.
Thad doesn't take many hands off. He likes to get his chips moving, and I like that about his game. He's in there trying to win every pot.
Absolutely. Thad is ever dangerous.
He, that being said, he has been quiet for Thad here on this final table today,
Okay, well, that's probably a good strategy for him.
which
Slow
is
it down a little
still
bit.
less conservative than most players, but quiet for Thad, I would say.
Yeah.
But this time he's in there with the best hand.
Looks like Ezekiel bet, Thad raised, and now Ezekiel's going to make the call with 2 5s.
And we never know when we get to these final tables. We never know what kind of history these guys have been. Maybe they play together all day one, all of day two. You never really know when you see hands like that.
Well, if Ezekiel thought his hand was good and Thad was doing this with some sort of draw, this is a terrible turn card.
Awful third card.
They all got there. Slows that down a little too with no spade in his hand.
Ezekiel can still win this hand with a 5 or a spade.
A couple big bets when you get it done, too.
I was just thinking, uh-oh,
Or Ezekiel only has 375,000.
there's the spade
left.
on the river.
Wow, spade on the river. Thad does river Broadway without a spade.
That does improve Thad's hand.
He checks. Ezekiel's
Yeah,
going
a
to
good
win
check.
this one with the 5 of spades.
You try to squeeze off a value bet here, or you just turn it over?
He might think about turning it into a bluff. I don't know. Like somehow there's 9 of spades. I don't know. He may not fold. I think you just got to check it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hope your badly played hand somehow rivered him.
That's the face of somebody that's about to click it back.
Yeah, Thad's like, oh no, what a run out.
Exactly. What? Pocket 5s.
What a run out.
He called the flop.
Well, call it for the runner spade, and there it came.
Kristen Budrick in the chat saying, Mama Slay. Shout out.
Mama Slay getting the shout out.
Mama Slay tuning in.
She will. I had to take her to dinner.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Since she outlasted me, she gets to eat. And,
after a bust out.
she's probably home by now. How much delay are we on? 15 or 30?
About 20, I believe.
20,
20-ish.
okay.
Thad on the button, queen 6 of diamonds. That's going to be good enough.
There we go.
That's a Thad special right there.
Yep.
85K. Let's see what Steve does with king 10 on the super short stack.
Just over 10 big blinds, barely in the small blind. He can fold here and see a whole nother orbit.
Yeah, you know what? I think he will.
He just paid his blinds and antes. He can get a free orbit out of the deal, and that's what he's going to do.
He's going to let it go.
I like Thad's open.
I would have went ahead and
And you see you got queen 7 to fold in the big blind. Now that one I'm defending.
there's Mama Slay in the Twitch chat. Thank you, Kristen. You and I need to go on vacay without hashtag Ketty.
Oh boy.
It's starting now.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Final table, Bankroll Builder Weekend, 100K guarantee, $360 buy-in, $26,500 up top for first place. You got myself, Dustin Shotclock, Kelly Slay, and Eddie Marskoski here hanging out with us, calling the shots.
How have the sizes been for the opens?
Well, we noticed a bit of a sizing tell with
Donnie.
with Donnie. Actually, Donnie's gone now. He was our 9th place finisher.
There was some debate as to whether or not he, I got to find him. I got to ask. I got to know later if he folded that top against
Yeah, I don't.
Aces
We had
earlier.
some graphic mistakes with it.
So what happened here? Robert limped?
It looks like Robert limps king 10 suited under the gun, and Steve looking to take advantage with king 7 on the button, piles it in, a little over 10 bigs.
Wow.
Wow, Robert's going to make the call.
Yeah, I don't like that shove.
King 10 versus King 7. Is that what we got going on here? King 10 suited versus the King 7 off.
Steve's going to want a 7 or a lot of diamonds.
Robert's got almost 75% of the equity going to the flop.
Wow. That's how you do
Wow.
it. Okay, I love his shove now.
Somehow Steve knew what was coming.
I guess so.
Looking for a one-outer king ball on the river. Doesn't get there.
King just chops it with him anyhow. He was dead. He needed 10s.
Wow, what a flop. But like,
Yeah, he needed the one-outer for the chop, not even the win.
like you just said, Dustin, he was going to get another orbit, full orbit to pick up a hand. I think he maybe could have found one better than King 7, but it worked out for him this time.
Wow.
Big double up for Steve Seckler.
You know, that's the hard part about letting your stack get so short is then when you do find the double up, you know, you're still short. Got to get it in a little earlier before you get down to 10 big blinds. Kelly, since you just got here, we'll give you an update on the stacks. There you go, guys. After that hand, these are updated after that hand. Steve gets out of last place, now with almost 700K.
Yeah.
Ruben, over 100 bigs here, right? We're still at 1530.
Okay, so we got some play left.
Yeah, we got some action.
Lots of play. Robert on the short stack now after losing with the king 10 of hearts.
After losing that hand, that dominating hand.
What a flop.
What a flop.
Magic. Steve flopping magic.
Pretty amazing that your opponent can flop a full house. You're still not drawing dead, though. He's drawn to the chop there.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah,
Didn't get there.
Pretty bad when you're dead on the flop.
that's just harsh. Guy's got 3 outs and hits 2 of them right on the flop.
George going to open the ace 3 of hearts.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we're 7-handed now. These opening ranges should be widening. Heather in the Facebook chat asked, do you think your short stack, if you're a short stack, you should open your range or play tight on the final table? Well, I will say, if you're the shortest stack, you don't have any laddering ICM implications to worry about. So your subs are probably going to be wider than any other time.
I agree. And I think ideally you're looking to find a spot to shove over somebody else's open. Where you pick up the blinds and their bet. If you're big enough to still have some fold equity, of course.
Right. Yeah.
Before you get
If
too
you
short.
don't, I'd say if you got 13 plus big blinds, you can jam over some opens and get some folds. But if you're down to 10 or less, it's likely you're going to get called if someone opens. So then you need to be a little more picky. You might have to actually make some pretty tough discipline laydowns after people open, because when you know you get called, it's just you want to have an option where they can fold, whether that be pre-flop, jamming on the blinds, or over and open. When they open and you know your stack isn't big enough to get a fold, you need to be a little more picky.
You see James open the pocket tens off a fairly short stack, right? And
I think that's
got through.
George shows the ace and fold.
I think that's only the third hand we've seen James play tonight. I saw him play 2 9s, the 2 10s, and he played one other hand, right?
Yeah, I think that's why George can look down at the ace-6 and snap muck it.
Snap muck. Show him and snap muck.
Right. I don't know if I'd be showing that thing.
Yeah, right?
It's a good way to get shoved on more. All right, here we go. Now you pick up a hand. Everybody's just seen the king 7. Now you show them king king.
Yeah.
Come and get it.
It's good for the game. Good for your image.
Come and get it.
Open raise now, no longer a short stack. 85,000 to go. Not a lot out here. Ruben, chip leader, big blind ace-9. He ain't going to be folding. He's not going to be folding his ace on the big blind.
It's 55K more for him to continue. There's already 160 out there. He's coming along.
Jack 6-5, 2 diamonds. Ruben does have the ace of diamonds. Checks it over to Steve. 2 black kings, counting out a continuation bet. Looks like a sizable one.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming in pretty big here. 215 in the middle. I didn't hear what she said.
$185.
Yeah.
Large. And it's going to take it down.
Steve coming out swinging on the flop there with the 2 black kings.
Yeah, hoping Ruben has a jack or
maybe a diamond draw.
some diamonds he wants to get crazy with.
He had one. I wonder if Ruben would have peeled if it was a smaller C bet. Probably, right? Check call maybe. See something good happen.
Chip leader.
I definitely think that's one of the candidates of. I mean, had it been, kind of a standard down C bet or even just a smaller size C bet, to peel one off.
Yeah, I feel like you would have played that one a little slower, try to get some action.
I would have. 2 different schools of thought. There's a lot of people, some just want to take it down.
Right.
What they got in the middle, I'm just trying to squeeze them for every bit I can.
Yep.
That gets me in trouble sometimes.
It does, but I think you come out more ahead than behind with that strategy if you have the stomach for it.
Well, that's why I do it.
Yep.
That's the long game.
Yeah, it makes for more of a roller coaster day. But you can amass chips, which is really the whole goal.
Here's Thad defending with the queen 4 off.
Gets there.
Hits top pair.
Yeah, he does.
Goes check check, I think.
George opened the button here with the king 9 off. I don't mind it with his stack.
No,
Although
it
he
was a
should
C
know.
bet. Sorry, it was a C bet.
Yeah, George c-bet it. But George needs to know with Thad in the big blind, you're going to get a lot of. He's pretty sticky.
He is, and since he opened the button, Thad may call again here.
This is a great turn for George.
Absolutely.
If you're no, I don't think there's many turns you can continue barreling on, but this is definitely one of them.
Yep, I really love this call by Thad. Just because he raised the button doesn't mean he has to have an ace, and he knows he's going to represent that ace whether he has it or not.
Yeah, Thad just a little too sticky.
One more barrel may get rid of him.
Wow,
Thad
open jams the
Thad
river.
moved in on him.
Thad's got some kicker problems there, but that doesn't stop him.
I don't hate that. He gets George to lay down some aces right there because the 8 hits all the straights that Thad would have played that way with the 5-6 flop. The 4-7, 7-9.
Also some 2 pairs in there that he could defend with.
Any of the 2 pairs like that really handcuffs a lot of George's hands.
Some queen 8 action, 6-8 type stuff.
And it makes you where you don't have to check and then make a hero call. It keeps you from making a mistake.
Puts you in control.
Really, I like the way Thad played that one.
Well, it keeps you from making a mistake when they don't have it. When they're sitting there with an ace, you just shove it right into them.
No, because they can fold an ace. That's what I'm saying. Like he almost has to have a better than one pair hand to come along. Your hand looks so incredibly strong. He just can't have ace 10 offsuit and be like call. You know, it's Thad's hand. The way he plays it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's a strong line.
It looks like the river should have really connected with him, like we were talking about in a straight or two pair type way.
George not letting that slow him down, though. Right back on the gas pedal with the Jack-10 suited here. Flops the open ender.
Everybody with a little something.
Steve just lead right out with the 9.
Yeah. Steve coming out swinging with middle pair.
Steve calls from the big blind with the 9-4 hearts, and then leads the king 9-8 flop.
I thought for a second George folded. I couldn't see his cards. He just moved them over to the other side of his stack there.
He goes check, check.
Wow, this goes check, check. Interesting.
And the diamond gets there.
Steve got Thad to fold the queen 9.
Yeah. And now he's going to win.
And now George misses the open ender.
Yeah, and the diamond got there. Another interesting line.
Steve ran it up to over $1 million now.
I like it. King 7, I'm getting them all the way there.
All the way there on the 7-7 king flop.
Hey, Kelly Slay in the chat says Thad McNulty equals no fear.
That's a fact.
100%. Dangerous Thad. Ever dangerous.
He likes to get in there and mix it up. I think it's a really good style, especially for final tables. When the tables get shorter, the wider and looser you're used to playing, I think the better you do. Think back to Gus Hansen days when he first hit the circuit. Nobody knew what he was doing. He just ruled it for a couple of years.
No, I agree. I mean, I think it's, like we said, it can be a volatile strategy, but if you can harness it, it's the strategy. It's the best winning strategy.
You know, I think you can get really deep a lot in this game just simply being tight and waiting for cards and, you know, of course, winning a flip here or there, or cold decking somebody here or there. You get here a lot just playing premium cards, but you cannot win tournaments waiting for premium cards.
100% agree.
Here we go. Got a big one coming up. Ace-Jack suited against Ace-Queen suited. Robert and the Ruben, the chip leader. All the money's going in.
Yeah, Robert on the short stack after that King 10 debacle.
All the money's going in here.
Getting all in, jams it. Of course, our chip leader with Ace Queen's going to make the call. There's a jack.
Easy game.
One diamond. Now just a queen. Nope. Robert's going to double up.
And not even the queen of hearts.
Yeah, only two queens left.
Yeah.
Robert getting the double up to 7,500, 755K for
Robert was probably thinking, wow, the chip leader wakes up with a hand that when I have one, and then whoop, there it is.
It's the great thing about poker. He called and be behind. Still got a shot.
Still got a shot.
All right, somebody in the chat's asking for the payouts if you guys haven't given those.
Yeah,
they're right below it. There they are. You're way ahead of me.
All over it. The next player out, what do we got left? We got 7 left. Next player out's going to pick up 4K, right? 4,085?
3,500.
Oh, 3,500.
Yeah, no, they're all playing for 26,000 up top, 26,501. Came to this final table with 9 left. We've lost 2.
Also, we still got that monster stack going on in the back of the room. 350 monster stack happening right now. I'll get you guys an update on that momentarily.
Yeah, they got to be getting down to it a little bit. They got a couple of our entries, that's for sure.
Yeah, they got one of mine.
Yeah, we didn't plan on being here tonight. We had a totally different plan coming in here.
Yeah, we did.
Yet here we are.
Here we are.
Jesse Hollander, the boss. Welcome to the stream, sir.
There he is.
NRG Poker says, what place did you finish? I finished 22nd place in this 4.
Eddie, make sure you tell them how you got there, though. Tell them about that satellite. Tell them how you got here.
Oh, that's right. I satellited in last Wednesday. I won the 590 satellite, which got me a ticket into the 100K, a ticket into the Bankroll Builder yesterday, which I got 3rd, and then a ticket into the Monster Stack, which I did not do anything in.
Well, if you're going to pick one to play well in, the Bankroll Builder seemed like a good one. Another congratulations on another deep run.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
And I know you got it in shorthanded with jacks against kings. That's just you're just going to lose that one most of the time.
Yeah, four-handed. That one was tough, but luckily, it was a 3-way all-in, and the other guy was shorter than me, so I was able to at least get 3rd.
Yeah, that's great.
Got 3rd place locked up in that spot.
Yeah.
What do we got going on here?
Looks like some guys messing around to me.
Ezekiel's not going anywhere with the ace-5 offsuit.
Now, Steve's got 6 high here on the turn. No draw, no nothing. The only way to win this one is to throw chips in there. He's doing it. This is a stone-cold bluff, ladies and gentlemen. 5-6 of red on Queen Jack 7 deuce black. I don't know how Ezekiel can come along, but he called the flop.
He called the flop because he had the back door, two back doors, but he missed them both. So good bet by Steve. Another one of those zero equity bluffs that you love so much, Eddie. And you got it through. But like we said, there's a lot to be said when you just think your man's weak and you think a bet will make him fold and you have the bottom of your range. Absolutely nothing wrong with firing out a bet.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, that's the part of poker that's never going to be solvable, figured out. Is there's just some human behavioral. He's acted this way a lot. I've seen him act differently. Something's off. I feel like I can get him to do what I want. There's really no computing or calculating that.
Oh, it's in the supercomputer.
You got access.
That's right. You got to access it.
You got the password?
We were talking about that the other day. There is just so much going on at the table. How somebody's sitting, how they're touching their chips, how they're touching their cards, if they're leaning forward or backward or breathing heavy, or there's just so much that you pick up, and sometimes you're not even conscious that you're picking it up. You just get the gut instinct that this will work or it won't work, and all those things are going through your brain subconsciously.
Yeah, I think your gut makes decisions for you. Like those feelings that you get. I think this will work. It's not just a random thought that enters your mind. It's because your eyes have seen this and this and this and this and this, and in the past we have noticed this and this and this to happen. So we it's like math. You're putting it together.
Right.
And the better you are, instinctually, obviously, the better you'll do.
Couldn't agree more.
But I think also a big mistake is everyone kind of listens to that instinct, but you need to test it out. I would say, jot down your next 10 river calls. When you call a river, jot down the next 10 times. See what your ratio is of being correct or being incorrect. That way, if you're 6, you got 6 wrong, you might not need to trust that instinct as much as you do. You get 8 right, I can listen to my instinct a little more.
You get 8 right, you're Mike Postle.
Yeah, you get 8 right. Well done.
If you get 10 right, you're Mike Postle.
Yeah, he don't get any wrong, which is probably his downfall. Should have played it down a little bit.
Just throw a couple in there.
Blinds are up, everybody. Blinds are up. 40,000, Annie.
Here we go. Blinds up 40,000.
40,000, Annie. 20,000.
Katie Jones, Tim Gower, George Barton, welcome to the stream. Ant Madolo, old school best bet. A lot of best bet love. Thanks for joining, guys. Everyone wants to see their former co-worker, see how he does. George coming in as our big stack. A recent employee, actually, has only been gone for a few months. Bunch of trash out there. Ruben with the only hand in the big blind is going to get a walk. Tim Gower says, "Go George." Rooting on Papi. All right, Thad's in the big blind, so this hand's likely to see a flop.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. And here's, are we going to call him Zeke? Or does he go by Ezekiel?
I've been calling him Ezekiel. He's got a really strong beard.
Yeah, he does, and he just stuffs it. It's about 12 big blinds, I think, now. Like it.
Yeah, ace 10 of diamonds, especially with someone as sticky as that in the big blind.
Yeah,
who's likely to call, and then if you miss, you got to give up the hand. Just go ahead and pile it in.
But
Surprise.
It looked like that had ace 7 of clubs in the big blind.
Yeah, surprise. That makes a really good fold there.
What percentage of Thad's stack was that? I like the fold too. I'm just curious.
Thad's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's probably half his chips.
Yeah.
Good fold. Little too much to call off. Thad actually did that a little while ago with ace 10. Robert decided to open jam 30 big blinds with king 10 offsuit.
Wow.
And Thad had ace 10 in the big blind, and him and Hod ended up folding.
Don't mind that fold either.
NRG Poker says, played with George, Thad, and Ruben. George is very laggy. Ruben is a heck of a player. There you have it. Laggy, for those of you out there that don't know, means loose aggressive.
Look at this hand brewing. Robert stuffed 755 with pocket sevens.
Oh, yeah. Ruben won't be folding.
That's almost 20 big blinds. Oh, that couldn't have been an ace king then.
Whoa.
There was an ace king on the graphic and it's disappeared, so we're going to assume it was an ace king. Oh, there it is. It's back.
Yeah, he still got the cards in front of him.
It is ace king.
Yeah.
I think he can click the call button. Thad's going to hate throwing this one away, but he's going to have to. Queen 7 of diamonds. This is usually when they run off the flush for you.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have Robert at risk here with pocket sevens versus the chip leader Ruben's ace king. Classic coin flip scenario.
Whoa.
7.
Just like that.
7, 4, 3, 2 hearts.
Pretty good flop.
And there's your ball game.
That's
Robert's
gonna
going to
do
double up again. Full house to boot.
Sevens are wild.
Robert picking up over 8.5. What was that, 855 in the middle there? Is that what that said?
Yeah, he jammed 755, I think, which was almost 20 big blinds, right? 19 big blinds. Which is, you know.
That's a pretty large open shove.
It is. I think if you're gonna shove 20 big blinds, those middle pairs are good hands to do it with. They don't play very well after the flop. They're too much equity, probably ahead. So I don't mind it. Done it myself plenty of times. I'm starting to play a little slower, lower in my stack before I start shoving any more. Get more in the 12-ish range.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what I've been doing lately.
Well, we talked about this a little bit with Josh. I think it really kind of depends on what you think your skill edge is, or if there is one. I would say the bigger your edge, narrow your big shoves should be, because you're giving up so much of your edge. Whereas if you're playing players that you think are better than you and there is no edge,
get it in.
I like the getting it in. Yeah, like
Yep.
you can't trust yourself to outplay them. So in these spots right there, it doesn't allow it. It really handcuffs them.
Yep, I agree 100% with that. Playing big pots when you think you're at a skill disadvantage is the way to go. And that applies also to making big opens. The better players want to open 2x or 2.2x. That doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
You can open 3x, 4x if you want. Put a lot of pressure on them.
Right. I think the better players are opening small because they're opening much wider. They're opening many more hands, and they're willing to play a lot more pots. Now, if you're going to play a tighter, snug range, there's no problem with opening up your sizing as to not, invite more calls, because if you're only going to be playing one hand to my every 5, it's important that you win your 1.
Right.
You know, like it becomes more important. It's less important for me to win mine because I got one coming right around the corner. But if you're going to play a little tighter, obviously there's nothing wrong with sizing up. And if let's say you do size up 3 or 4x opens, it's almost like and you win that hand, that's the same size as if I win 2 hands.
Right.
Right. So it's
right.
almost you can almost keep up. I'll put you to the test though.
Here we go. Here's Thad getting busy with the queen jack offsuit from the cutoff. I like this.
Oh yeah, Queen Jack not going to be getting by Thad.
He went a little above 2.5x, right? We're at 40,000, so it went to 105.
Blinds are up, guys. We're playing 20K, 40K, right?
Must be, yeah. We've been at it a while now. It seems about right with Thad's sizing. I like it. Anywhere around 100K.
So our chip leader's in seat 7. Is that correct?
Yeah, let's see them chips after Ruben losing that pot. Any changes?
Take a quick look here. Chip counts.
Yeah, Ruben's still on top, 1.9 now.
Didn't even phase him.
Robert jumps up to 1.6 after that big double up with 7s.
Big double up.
Wow, that's a big swing. See Steve right there in third, 1.3. George, who came in with all the chips, now down to 14 big blinds. George, Ezekiel, and James are going to be playing this short stack game. Let's see who can last longest.
You know, George was actually at my table. In fact, he's the one that busted me this morning first hand. I shoved it with an ace, and he ISO raised out of the small blind with King Jack. But before we started, he was talking about playing pretty tight before the bubble. I mean, before the bag the night before. So I'm interested to see how he plays now that his stack has gotten small. I sort of, based on that conversation, I'm expecting him to get kind of tight now that he's short.
I agree.
Which I think is fine.
It's correct at this point. He's actually got 2 with less than him. You know, so he could potentially make 2 jumps here just by outfolding them. You know, like this is the game that the short stacks kind of are handcuffed into playing at this point, which makes it so advantageous for those big stacks to continue putting the pressure on. That being said, certain hands play themselves. You know, you can't outfold them and fold every hand.
Yeah, at some point you just got to get it in there.
Yeah, certain situations align where you just have to do certain things.
That's what James is going to need to make a move here. He's going to fold himself into 7th place.
Yeah, I'd say you want to keep your shot. Keep having an option to win. Like you don't want to get down to 3 and 4 big blinds and double up to nothing, to where you didn't do anything for yourself. You want to give yourself a chance.
Here's Steve opening King 4 suited out of the hijack. Looks like it's going to get through. That's one of those hands that's right on the cusp for me. I like it fine out of the button. Cutoff is getting a little questionable. I guess it depends on who's in your blinds and how sticky they're getting. And
yeah,
that one got through. So
yeah, I think the deviations are all pretty much about like who's in the blind. If Thad's in the blind, I'm letting the King 4 diamonds go. If one of them guys with 13 bigs is in the blind, I'm raising it up because I know even if they call, it's very likely they're going to fold the flop. Like they can't.
Yeah, you want them to call.
Exactly. I in those situations, I like for them to peel because they're just giving me more chips.
Well, you want them to call and miss.
Sometimes I'll see bet small on the flop and they call another one.
Yeah.
But and the fact that they didn't check raise me all in lets me know that they don't have a big a top pair type hand. So then I'll bet again on the turn, and I just made more chips.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. James is now shoved some mystery cards from the hijack.
Looks like
Ezekiel with ace queen.
Whoa.
What happened there?
Wowzers. What's going on?
Robert's got pocket 8s on the button.
Looks like James just shoves 11 big blinds here, and Ezekiel
folded ace queen offsuit.
Okay.
Without too much thought.
I'll tell you what, though, James has been incredibly snug. I wouldn't be surprised to see James with a hand, with a pair or a hand better than ace queen. I don't know.
He's already got trips somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. James, he's played one hand. maybe 2.
He's played 2.
They were like queens and nines, I think.
Played 9s and 10s.
This is 11 big blinds he's put in there.
Well, like we talk about this. Sometimes you can make these
Is he-
exploitable folds against players that aren't getting out of line.
So you're saying he's never got ace jack?
I'm not
That's
saying.
what you're saying. When you're folding ace queen, you're saying he never has ace jack.
Let me
when he
ask you
shoves here.
this: if you just add ace jack in his range, does it make it a call? No, because there's still more that beat you. So even if you do give him ace jack, I'll give it to him. He still has ace king, ace ace, king king, queen queen, ace queen, all 10-10, all these better hands.
All right, I'm not folding ace queen right there. He had 10 jack. He had 10 jack of hearts.
I love it. I knew that was coming. Honestly, 10 jack of hearts is a shove though, right?
Yes, it is, and that's my point. That's why you can't fold ace queen. I don't care how tight the guy's been. It's 11 big blinds. Ace queen's too good to let go.
Ezekiel just went to go tell his buddy I just folded ace queen. Let me know what he had. He's not going to be happy about that.
We see a fist slam the table here in a few minutes. Once the delay catches up. We'll know.
I mean, I haven't been here watching, so I don't know how tight he's been playing. So if you guys are saying he is that tight, then folding ace queen when you think the guy can never have ace jack or worse is okay, right? I'm not saying he made a bad fold there, but I'm saying I'm not folding ace queen offsuit in that spot for 11 big blinds.
Yeah. Well,
unless I know for sure he's got the top.
No, I agree. I'm not
3% of hands.
I'm not saying I would have folded either.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of folding.
No.
But I'm saying I can kind of jump into the mind of Ezekiel there and understand because James has played so snug.
Sure. And I haven't been here to see that, and they've been playing together. So
I mean, look at him. He looks like that. See how he looks? That's how he's played.
Yeah. Okay.
He's looked like a guy that plays pretty damn snug.
Right. So we just saw the bottom of his range.
Oh, I think that's probably stone cold bottom hand he shoves with right there. And I'm actually surprised and impressed that he did.
Yeah, good. Me too.
Especially in that position. Yeah, he played 10s earlier. He played 9s earlier. I think he got it all in. He got real short, got it in with 9s. And then we saw him, did he put
Queens. He opened queens.
I thought it was 10s. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The 5-seat folded 8s also, right?
Yeah, Robert, you know why? Because he knows that James ain't played no hands.
Okay.
Gio Barton in the chat says that's a money jump fold, and he would have called. I think a lot of us in the chat would have called. Takes a nit to lay that one down.
Don't get me wrong. I've laid down my share of ace-queen offsuit in my day, but not in that spot.
Yeah. Oh, I understand.
You know, at some point, you got to accumulate some chips to win. You're gonna have to win some flips. You just can't pick up aces when they have kings.
Yeah, you can't always be 70-30, 80-20 scenarios. They just don't come up that often.
Right.
And like I said before, even if you do, when you get down to 5 and 6 blinds, what does it matter? I'd rather try to double up 17 bigs with a 40% of a 60-40 than double up 5 bigs being the 60% of a 60-40, you know?
Here's Thad betting middle pair, and it's good. Picks up another pot.
See these big stacks. Taking advantage of the tight pre-flop play here with these short stacks that are all condensed together right around the same stack. The bottom 3 all have right around 12 bigs.
Yeah, that puts a lot of pressure on those guys and creates a great opportunity for the chip leader. Unfortunately, I'm rarely the chip leader in this spot. I'm usually one of the small stacks holding on. That's a flaw of my game, Eddie. You're going to have to work with me. Speaking of working with you, all you guys out there listening know Eddie is a poker coach. He can help your game. Hit him up.
This guy. Thanks, Kelly Slay. Appreciate that.
Well, I've seen some of your students have some recent success. I know it's helping them.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, right now, Steve Seckler is a former student of mine. Steve's put a lot of work into his poker game. Right here, we see Steve with Ace King.
You taught him how to pick up the Ace King when they have Ace 10 and King Queen.
I think I taught him how
in
to
a 3-bet.
How to stick it in.
I just got to go in right here, right?
Had a 4-bet jambo here.
Oh, no.
No, he must have skipped school that day.
You didn't teach him that one.
No, I didn't teach him that one.
Well, Thad with the 3-bet from the button with king queen. When he watches his back, he'll see how fortunate he got.
Wow. I like Thad's 3-bet.
I do too.
You know, Ruben is our chip leader and should be opening the cutoff incredibly wide. And Thad with king queen should be ahead a lot of the time. Go ahead and like we just saw, sometimes you get the best hand to fold even.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know how much Ruben has played with Thad. If you haven't played with Thad, he looks like he wouldn't have that move in his game, but he obviously does. He just showed it to you.
The problem is then he starts playing hands, and then you know he's got it. Like, he looks like it, but then the cards go in the air, and then you know. Because it's not long before he's splashing around and flips over something that says, oh, okay.
Right. That's true, but
he's not your average white hair.
But you guys said he's been playing fairly tight here at the table, so gets ace-10 to fold and gets ace-king to fold.
Yeah, I don't think he's shown I don't think he's had to show down any of his hands either. So he's still got a little mystery on his side.
Well, when Steve finds out, he's going to be sick to his stomach.
Yeah.
See, there's another one of those spots where, if you're going to win tournaments, you've got to get your chips in there when you have a spot. And he's probably thinking, well, Thad's probably 3-betting just ace king or big pairs, and that's not true. We know, but he might not know that.
Well, see, that's the thing. Steve, Steve's been playing here a long time. I think he's played with Thad enough.
Ooh, look at this flop.
Or he should have played with that enough to know that Thad can get out of line.
And he can also flop sets and checks it. See if he'll get Ezekiel to take a little stab at it.
Ezekiel's not taking the bait here.
No, he's not. That may check this back one more time. Put a little bitty bet out there. Just a little one, a little tickle.
Yeah, 125 is going to be nothing going there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but
back-to-back pots, nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, one he won with his position and his aggression, and that one you flop it. Too bad Big Blind didn't have some of that.
Thad on a bit of a heater here.
Yeah, that's one thing I really respect about Thad's game is when he gets some chips and he gets a little momentum, he gets in every pot after that and can run up some really big stacks.
Yeah, he definitely uses his momentum. When he gets chips, like I said, he's a dangerous player.
Yes, he is.
He's the reason I was able to run deep yesterday in that bankroll builder. Me and him played a really massive pot with 2 speculative hands. We got in. We got in heaps on the turn, and I had a 7. So.
All right, Robert with the ace king in the big blind. Yep, there you go. Just put him in. A7 is probably going to get a fold here. Yep. Don't mind
good
that
to
at
see
all.
James open up the button a little bit.
Yeah, open the
Does
button
open,
small.
yeah.
He's on the short stack instead of just, a lot of people just shove right there in the button and try to get it through, which is not a bad play in and of itself. But you save yourself from this spot right here. If you open small and you get 3-bet, then you can get rid of it.
Yep, I agree. I think
He's leaving himself with like 8 big blinds, but at least he's got 8 big blinds.
We saw that. You and I have watching these final tables, seen Maurice implement that type of strategy on one of the MSPTs.
Yep.
Had a short stack, and instead of open jamming the 12, 11, and 10 big blind stacks in late position, he would just min raise.
Yeah, I think we saw him raise off a 5 or 6 big blind stack and fold on the flop.
Right. Like again, he knows that his skill edge is so big, and these guys aren't getting out of line against him. That when they do, they have it. You know? So you don't have to risk them all. You can get away, knowing that they're doing it with a hand.
All right, Ezekiel's
better than
in with the
yours.
king 7, gets called by George in the big blind with pocket 5s.
Yeah, it looks like Ezekiel had to shove his short stack in here on the button with king 7. George makes the call on the big blind. Big flip situation. George fades the flop.
King 7 pretty happy to see pocket 5s, but not going to get
Yep,
there.
and Ezekiel is going to finish in 7th place.
Good game.
Yep, Ezekiel's going to take home $3,533. Big pot for George there. Had he lost that one, that would have put him down super short. As it is, nearly doubles up.
Yep, I like the shove from the button with the king 7 offsuit, and I like the call from the big blind with the 5s. I think that hand just played itself.
Yeah, 9 big blinds, 7-handed, king 7 off on the button.
It's plenty.
Likely the best hand. Definitely good enough to go ahead and jam it in. And George knows that the 2 5s are a hand he has to make the call with.
Yeah, you don't love it either because you know you're probably going to be against 2 overcards.
Yeah, and
Or
it's
crushed.
for all your chips, but it's just
It's one of those spots we talked about.
Kelly
Just gotta-
mentioned ago, you got to win races sometimes. You're not going to find yourself in 70-30s and 80-20s that much to where you can actually win the tournament. George knows that as well. Sometimes you got to make the big calls with these little pairs.
Yep. Just got to win some flips, right? Here's Steve with pocket 7s in the hijack.
Gio Barton on the Facebook chat says, let George get some of those ace kings and ace queens they're tossing. He doesn't think George is going to fold them.
All right, Steve raised to 90K. I like the sizing.
Yeah, this is the right around the sizing I'd be using here. Gio says, good thing Ezekiel folded the ace queen, waited for the king 7. Yeah,
That's true.
He's not going to be happy, and it's probably right about now
Yeah,
where he's actually seeing it.
yeah. And right there, I saw the whoever's in the big blind did not defend the queen 3 suited. I'm surprised.
Was that Ruben in the big?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Didn't defend the queen 3 suited. I'm definitely defending that one. But I'm the stubborn old guy that doesn't like to fold.
No, I think queen 3 suited is a defend, 6-handed especially with the chip
Yeah,
lead.
I'm folding most anything that's suited. I might let a couple of the.
I mean, you're calling anything that's suited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a James shoving the king jack offsuit from the hijack. Ruben's got the ace 9 suited in the small.
Yeah, Ruben should be calling here.
And maybe re-raising.
I think 9 big blinds is it. Whoa.
What?
Ruben's going to fold the ace 9 clubs. James getting mad respect, getting better hands to fold left and right. Wow, James played tight for an hour,
8 big
and
blinds.
it's made him some serious money here. Just page up to Ezekiel. Now he's getting ace 9 to fold. That's a peculiar fold by our chip leader.
Ace 9 suited from the chip
Ace
leader.
9 suited.
Okay.
Kelly was thinking about piling it over the top.
Yeah, it was.
But I think the 9 big blinds, I think it's enough to
I think
flat.
it's enough.
And it's too scary to pile, if he wakes up with.
Well, you got Thad behind you, right? So if you just call there, Thad's got it in his game to put a 3-bet in there and to squeeze you.
You know what? If Thad is doing that, if he does anything, a raise or even a call, he has a good enough hand to do it. Like he's not doing it with something
Right.
just messing around.
Right.
He's not doing it with queen 10 offsuit.
Yeah.
He has a pretty good hand when he does it. 9 big blinds is a lot, and he's also wanting the guy to bust.
Sure.
You know?
Okay, Ruben back to work, raising the button. Now Steve with ace king. Let's see if you play this one.
Steve picked up some chips, spun it up from about 400K a few minutes ago, huh?
See, this is what's nice about having Thad in here. The button raises. Thad, who is known for being sticky, calls from the small blind, and now you can make this big raise, and it looks like it's a squeeze.
Yeah, it is, just with a hand. Go for a big size, too.
Yeah, squeezed it. You want someone to
Yeah.
squeeze.
Got through. I didn't see what he
Yeah,
bet.
what did he go to there? It was 105. He made it
365.
365.
I'd have gone a little bigger than that, I think.
Yeah, out of position. especially
With
against
a caller?
especially against the guy with all the chips.
I'd
You want to
have
make it a little less.
been closer to 500 probably.
Yeah, I would say anywhere from 4 to 5.
And again, I don't know how many chips he had. That might have been half his stack.
If that's the case, then you can just pile.
Right,
No,
exactly.
he had a bunch. He had 1.3.
Okay. Yeah, I'd have gone 450 to 5, I think.
He opened to 85. Is that what Ruben opened to, or 90?
Yeah. The 365 got through.
Yeah, 365. I think that's pretty spot on. I think that's pretty close.
I'm gonna try to go 5x there probably. I'm gonna probably go 4x, just if heads up.
if it was
But
just
after Dad called, I'm gonna size it up a little bit. And I don't hate it. I mean, we're splitting hairs now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But at some point, it matters, right? At some point,
Yes.
with some hands, Ruben's calling, and then also Thad, who we know likes to call, could come along too, and you could find yourself in a real
Yeah.
precarious situation.
I think that's why you got to go a little bit bigger because if you go small enough and then Ruben does call, Thad's almost thinks he's priced in.
Oh yeah, and he is, like
yeah.
Thad.
Yeah.
Tim
Here.
Fredericks, thanks for joining the stream, buddy.
Okay, so. All right, so Ruben, wow, what's happened here? We got
George
George.
opens hijack, king jack. Ruben flats cutoff. Thad flats the button.
Wow.
Queen 10.
Steve's going to call in the small blind with the 7-6. No, he let it go. Okay, good. I like that fold, actually. Of the small blind. I like 7-6 suited, just not out of the small blind multi-way. Not sure how I feel about both these flats.
Well, the hand's definitely too good for Ruben to be folding.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about folding his. I'm thinking maybe 3-betting his,
Yeah.
and I'm not so sure I like Thad's call with the Queen 10 off on the button.
Thad's ambitious. You know, he likes the long odds.
Well, he likes to see flops, so that's Thad's game.
Oof, check this out. George open jams 735 into about 5 or into about 400.
Yeah, it's getting right through. Oh no, there's
No,
two clubs.
This is a big flop. Yeah, this is
Two clubs on the.
I think this is the bet that Ruben can't call. Had George, let's say just c-bet 200, 180, we'd probably see Ruben go for the gusto and put it in.
You know, if you're in Ruben's seat here and the guy makes this over bet, are you not thinking to yourself, maybe it's a draw? Maybe I've got a dominating club draw now?
The problem, I fold and then because I have the ace of clubs. Like George just opened, so we'd have to give him queen jack of clubs,
Yeah.
10 jack, or queen 10. There's only really 3 combinations, if he would even do it with those. The fact that I have the ace of clubs makes me think he doesn't have the ace of clubs, or doesn't have the flush draw. And I think he's the price, like he's getting lucky by George shoving. Had George just bet, Ruben's gonna have to put it in and then have to see it run out with the worst hand in a spot where George wouldn't be folding.
I don't know if I can fold this one in this spot. I like this call. It's only half his stack. You got to if he's got a king, you got an overcard. You got all the flush outs. You might be in there against a flush draw that you have dominated. So I actually like this call.
He makes the call. We're going to see it. George looking to avoid a club, and he does. Big double up.
Terrible call. No, I like that. That's just one of those hands. You have to play it.
You really can't call it a terrible. It's definitely not a bad call.
If you're going to flat the ace-9 of clubs and get that flop, you can't fold.
Well, here's my thing. Again, skill edge. Like this is how I think when I'm at the table. Like why would I want to give anyone 50-50 versus me when just my natural skill edge is 60-40, or whatever it is. Like this is how I think. I don't want to. I'm going to give up half my chips just because I happen to flop a flush draw.
Yeah, but I'm
and he has no fold equity.
For me, I'm trying to make what I consider plus EV plays. I think that calls plus EV. So as much money's in the pot because of Thad's dead money in there too. You're flipping it worse.
There's no way it's a bad call, and you can't. And I can't. It's one of those things where I can't fault you for doing it. But I'm just like my thought process in these situations.
You find a better spot.
My chips are so powerful in my use.
Yeah.
When I can use them.
You don't like to call it off.
Yeah.
I get it.
Now again, if George bets, I pile him in, and I'm happy to get it in. When he has some fold equity, when there's a chance I win it with no showdown. When I'm going to showdown, it's tough. There's runouts.
Well, here's the thing. When he opened shove there, We can take a few hands out of his range, right? He's probably not open shoving ace king. He's probably not open shoving any sets. He's not shoving the top of his range, right?
Well,
the hands that we're worried about.
I'm not sure
so,
if we
so
can
I
take
think
ace king out. I don't even know if we can take ace out.
Why would you overbet shove ace king there?
Why would you do it with king jack? Wouldn't it be the same thing? Isn't it the exact same hand? It's not like you're doing it so king queen can fold. You're doing it for value, and it's kind of a scary board against two players, and there's already a lot in the middle. That's George's thinking. I really think. I mean, he may not have done it with ace king, but I don't. There's not really any difference.
Well, he's not shoving any sets.
You're right. He doesn't have king.
Right.
Yeah. He doesn't have 8-8.
Right. So my point is, you have 12 outs, and there's a reasonable chance he's in there with the queen 10 or the jack 10 or some sort of a flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Might make the same bet exactly.
By reasonable, you mean small? Yes.
Okay. There's a chance.
Well,
That's
check
part of
this
his
out.
range.
Let's throw this. Let's say there is a chance, whatever that chance may be, and I'll give you whatever that number is, percentage-wise. But also, if it's 10 jack of clubs, you think he's just going to open shove it? Like now, we're not even of the times he does have those hands, which we're already thinking is a little low. Now he has to play it just like that too. So it kind of amounts to less likely, right?
Yeah, maybe.
That's why I like to have, when I have the nut flush draw.
When Josh comes back in here, ask him what he would do.
Oh, he's getting it in.
Of course.
He's getting it in.
He's getting it in. Because your equity is just too big. You have probably at least 50% equity in that hand, and you're putting in way less than 50% of the pot.
I get the
math.
I get the conventional thinking,
Yeah,
100%.
no, I get it. I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, that you don't like calling it off when it's 50-50. I mean, and we'll fold some middle pairs sometimes for the same reason, and it's really no different.
Yeah, in a spot where my chips are so valuable.
Yeah, but I think in this, I mean, if I was even chips with the guy, it's one thing, but he had him covered 2-1.
Yeah.
So if you miss it, you still got 20 bigs, and you can play fine, right? If you hit it, you're a big chip leader now, and now you can really lean on the table. So I think that the utility of the chips when you do win it matters. As if I ever had a big stack.
One day.
One day. If I ever get one, I'll know what to do with it.
Been practicing for years. Yeah, I think I would have made a tight fold. I think maybe that's one people don't.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying you would be wrong in folding. I'm just saying if I'm calling ace 9 of clubs and I get that flop, I mean, why are you even playing the hand?
Well, I can answer that question in a multitude of ways.
How much of a better flop are we trying to get? You're trying to flop the flush?
We don't. We're not looking to play 60 big blind pots if we don't have to. Like we're looking to nickel and dime and pick and peck our way because we have such an edge.
But it was 750,000, right? It was 20 big blinds that you were calling.
No, when you asked me why'd you call the ace 9 club, I was like, there's many reasons. Like
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
calling just to flop a flush draw and get it all in all the time.
I understand.
I'm calling to hit a flush draw and then bet it like I have something else, and maybe the flush comes. If not,
Yeah.
I can put some bluffs up there. There's a whole bunch of different things. Well, like again, we're really. It's so close. It's never going to be bad when you get it in with a nut flush. Really, it's going to be hard to ever be a bad play when you get it in with a nut flush draw and a non-paired flop.
Right. Unless you're up against a set.
Oh, I like this.
And that was we just flattered the kings.
Yeah, Ruben, a little short stack now, just limps into two kings.
And the ace magnets popped right up there. I don't know if it's going to get checked all the way down.
Yeah, Ruben's going to have to put that in somewhere. You got to hope that hits something.
Yeah, of course he didn't.
He's a slave driver over there. Hey, you. Settle down. I'm drinking already.
Ruben don't understand. He could have raised those kings and Thad with the 2-5 of clubs is coming along.
Thad likes to see flops.
Thad's going to be calling like 80% from the big blind versus blind if you keep it.
That was 5 deuce off. I think even Thad can fold that one.
That was super.
But It was suited?
He's coming in.
Was it suited?
Five deuce club.
Oh, I saw club and spade. Again, my eyes are just a little bit too far away from this TV.
It's actually kind of far.
Okay, pocket nines for Robert and the hijack. And he's up to 1.5 million.
Still
which
at 40K, right?
Yeah, he's up. He's
he's
up
got
to
a lot.
almost 40 big blinds now.
Matt Krager, Blake Waddington, welcome to the stream, boys.
There it
There's the
goes.
jam. We've seen this. This is the second time we've seen a huge 30-plus big blind open shove from Robert. First time was King 10 offsuit. This time it's nines. Remember he did that with sevens too a little while back.
They can't fold fast enough.
Yeah, that's a big one. You can only have about 3 hands to call.
So
I guess you don't want to get any value for that one. You don't want to see any flops.
our boy James there, only with about 300K coming around to the big blind. He's got to put 80 of it in the middle.
Yeah, it's about go time for James.
Yeah, he's going to have to rip it here with. He just folded a 9-8 offsuit under the gun with his 300K.
Yeah, it was that 80 big blinds. I'm sorry, 8 big blinds. Okay, Ruben going to open the ace 8 offsuit and the cutoff and stab with the ace queen. I feel another 3-bet coming. Oh, he just flats him this time.
Okay, and this is leaving the door for James to sneak in there with 10 jack.
I wonder if Dad was flat in there thinking James might shove. Probably not. Not enough really to shove.
9-7-4. Oh, I kind of like an open jam from James there. He
Check, check,
he
check.
checks it over. Still like a jam from James. Ruben now
Everybody's
hit
straight draw.
a open-ended. Looks like he should be taking this one down.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice bet from Ruben.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I would have just, if I had 10 jack there, I think I would have just had to pump it in.
It's a pretty good flop. If your opponents have queen jack, king queen, all those hands
Yep.
like they had,
Yeah, you can't really
you
call.
get to win it without, with the worst hand. And
Yep.
if they do call you, you got a lot. You got a lot of stuff happening.
Yep.
Jacks, tens.
James just abandoned his stack. Screw it.
Right.
Oh, he's right there. He's on his phone. New rule, the possible rule: no phones at the table. Or at least I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, no phones at the table during the tournament final tables.
It's terrible for me. I'm constantly on my phone.
Me too.
Constantly.
I want people to text me immediately and go, yeah, you got bluffed.
Well, I'm recording my hands too, like you know that,
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
We like to, after a hand's played, we like to jot it down and discuss it later and figure out different ways we could have done things. And it's so
Yeah.
much easier if you do it right after it happens.
Yeah. Now you got to go watch the stream after the fact. Here we go.
James gives the old unload.
Move on you, sir, but now I got to get a count. Will you pull the 90 in?
It's like Steve opened the button here and now he's thinking about laying it down.
No.
He's got him dominated. The queen deuce of clubs.
Yeah, what did you think was going to happen when he had three big blinds? I guess he had more than that. He had a little over
Steve,
5.
he
Right?
had
put
5.
in those chips, Steve.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Put it in and flip that hand over.
It's only 120 to call, right?
Don't you dare muck this hand.
Yeah, you got to do this. You're absolutely right.
Your feeling is correct.
You need the chips, so here you go.
We're not doing anybody any favors here.
It's getting 3 to 1 on
There
his money.
we go.
Getting over 3 to 1. Any two
And,
cards.
and he's got the best of it.
Yeah, over 3 to 1.
Any two is a call. Just wasted 20 seconds of our lives.
The old queen deuce suited versus the 7-5 suited. Unfortunately, they're the same suit. Unfortunately for James,
7 there for James.
gets there.
No, straight.
Seems like that happens a lot, doesn't
There it
it?
is. James doubles up.
There you go.
Steve should have folded. We told him.
Trying to tell you, Steve.
Well, actually, they're on a 10-minute break. Actually, I think if you're going to play that hand, you could maybe bet enough to he's got to call off so he can't 3-bet you.
Yeah,
right?
the play is, if he has 5 big blinds, you know we can't raise and then fold. So if you know you're not going to fold, you just need to put the pressure on them. Don't even give them the option of going back over the top. Put them all in. Even like I like to do this, even if I'm the button, and even if there's a small blind in the middle, but the big blind has like 5 bigs, I'll just make it 5 bigs. You know,
Absolutely.
I'll make it like 4 or 5 bigs, just a little bigger. It deters the small blind from coming along because it's a little more than a standard raise, and the big blind can't go back over the top. He's making a decision for all his chips.
I agree 100%. And you know you're going to call if they shove anyway. Right.
And you know, I wonder, had he done
Exactly
that,
500.
if James would have just let go of the 5-7.
Yeah, I think you would
You
have.
know, like I think there's definitely times where some hands do. So shoving a little better. Anyhow, players are on a 10-minute break. I'm Eddie Marskoski. This is Kelly Slay
Nice to be with
in the
you.
booth. We are down to 7 players, or 6 players, 6 or 7. We're down to 6 now. No,
We were almost down to 5.
yeah, 6 players left. James just doubled up as our short stack. He's got 12 big blinds.
Hey, and he's got chips to play with now. You know, 12 big blinds is enough to leave a mark on somebody. Yeah, let's take a little break.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
be
on
back.
a little break. They'll be back in a little less than 10 minutes now. We'll be right back.
Who the hell needs Johnny? Really?
That's what he said.
That's
He said,
crazy.
"Oh my God, I had to go through that to get all this back." That's what I started with. That's what he was saying.
1, 8, 10. Yep, that's sick. 975 for Ruben.
God, these cards you can't even like. No, I got it. Never mind.
Ruben does not have 975.
All right, found a variance.
820. 820. $1,175,000. 1.175. All right, guys, we're actually going to go back to 25,000 small blind, 50,000 big blind, 50,000 ante. Oh, you guys wanted a break. I figured I'd be accommodating. Oh, thank you. Some spoke up more than others. 50,000 ante, 25,000 small, 50,000 big. Good luck. Billy, shuffle up and deal.
You heard it. We are back.
Shuffle up and deal. I heard Arlie say.
Lines are up.
25, 50,000.
25, 50.
Where's the rest of our players? There we
They're
go.
down there somewhere.
Trickling back in here. Six-handed. Next guy out is going to take home. Next guy takes out just over 4K. We hit the 4K mark, huh? Next player out takes home $4,085.
All right, it's starting to get real. It's starting to get close.
Playing for some real money now, boys.
These guys can feel it. There's only a handful of humans in the way.
And we saw James still in the short stack, right?
Yep, James on the severe short stack at this point.
Coming back to 25.50, is that right? Come back to 10 bigs for James.
And Ruben down to 820,000. So now he's a middle stack. Did Steve open the 8-6 off?
That's right. Steve's going to open here.
Like that sizing.
Whoopsie
105. Uh-oh. George with the jacks.
Unfortunately, George isn't back from his seat yet, so his
wow.
his hand gets auto mucked, but it's still got red. The jacks passed over the reader.
That's why Steve opened. I was wondering why he would open 8-6 in that spot, but the big blind's not there. Yes.
Got the big blind to fold jacks.
Anytime the big blind isn't at the table,
Raise.
it's very likely he won't be defending said big blind. So, you want to win the pot.
That's George is going to be sick when he sees that one later.
Yep.
Well, I mean, luckily, like Steve didn't have 10s. You know, you'd be more sick if you sort of seen something like that. So even if he
pot,
three bets, it just wasn't.
That pot had some chips in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He would have.
250, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Steve
yep.
opened to 105. So.
He's going to get back to these. He doesn't know he just folded jacks.
In the big blind.
In the big blind.
Actually, well done for Steve picking up on that real quick and taking it in his own hands, raising the 8-6, not worried about the short stack
Yeah,
behind him.
I had the same thought when I saw him open an 8-6 off, and now it makes total sense.
Yep.
Good play. Oh, George's way to get the ace-king in the small blind.
I didn't want to play jacks anyway.
And I think he just moved right on in. Wow.
Yeah, he goes all in quickly to try to induce some action, try to make Ruben think that his play may have been just like a careless, quick decision. But then he shows him the ace-king, kind of let him know he was being deceptive. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't show him, George. Just keep doing what you're doing.
I think I would have made a small little open there and tried to induce a shove out of Ruben.
Yeah, ace-king's way too good to just be jamming all in.
I mean, every now and then you're gonna get a call out of ace-jack or something like that. But
you were going to
you're
get
gonna
piled on
anyway.
anyway.
Exactly. So,
All the hands that he's going to call you with, he was going to do it if you just raised a little bit.
yeah, you take all the bluffs out. There's Robert with
Robert picking up
ace-queen.
ace-queen. George
Uh-oh.
picking up ace-jack.
Both all in. Wow.
Looks like Robert just goes all in. George folds the ace-jack correctly. Thad, 2 queens in the big blind, is going to call.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Good news for Thad. George folded one of Robert's outs.
Yeah, he did.
Only 2 aces left in the deck.
That's in great
Great
shape here.
shot.
Oh.
Oh, 10 ball gets him there too.
Now we need 10. Thad
Clean
dodges
turn.
the turn.
Pretty clean turn.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, that left a mark.
That's going to do it for Thad.
Oh, he had him covered, too.
Robert has him slightly covered. Tough break for Thad, getting it in. Pretty golden here with 2 queens against Robert's open jam of, what do you have? He had 31 big blinds.
Yeah.
Robert open jams.
Yeah, and we saw him do it earlier
Yeah,
with pocket eights, right?
He's had king 10. He's had either 7s or 8s.
Or nines, maybe it was.
Yeah, he's had some.
George would have won that hand with the 3rd place hand. Ace Jack.
That's right.
Ace Jack would have been the best hand.
Wow.
Wow, monster pot. That's got to put Robert in a pretty massive chip lead, up around 3 million-ish.
It's a tough break for Thad. He played really well for 2 days straight. Take a beat like that.
Looks like Thad's hitting the rail in 6th place. He's going to take home $4,085 for his effort.
Yeah, good game, Thad.
Yep, $4,000. Not what he was looking for, but not a bad little weekend. Thad will be back. We'll see him at more final tables. He's here all the time doing these Thad things.
That hand gets Robert into 3rd place there. Gets him up to about $1.5 million.
No, that's definitely incorrect.
Yeah.
He's got around.
Oh,
he had 1.5 before that hand.
Yeah.
We'll check after this hand, see if the graphics have caught up.
He's got to be our chip leader now, right? He's gonna have George.
Yeah, he's got to have almost $3 million now.
So we're down to 5. 5th place going to be getting paid $4,858. Nearly a 5K payday. Guaranteed for everyone here. $26,000 up top.
Nice little pay jump from 6th to 5th, huh? Pick up almost $1,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but the jumps start to get pretty significant in the last few spots.
Check out James just hanging back, hanging around.
Just laddering up.
Got himself top 5 now in a 368-person field.
I forgot he was here.
I think he just showed up. He wasn't here. Just got back from break. Decided to play a couple hands. Yeah, let's see those chips. Let's see if they've caught up, Dustin.
Taking a look at Robert's stack. Yeah, let's take a look. There we go. That's a pretty significant difference. An extra 1.2 million on Robert's stack.
So you see James with 10 bigs and Ruben with 14. Ruben's going to want to wait out James if he can. James is so tight, though. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, let's see who takes the lead here. So far, Robert has not opened up his game much at all, just shoving when he gets big hands.
Yeah,
so I have a feeling he's just going to stay out of the way and let the other guys play. So this is actually a good spot for George to start trying to pick up some chips if he can.
Yeah, I think the way it's set up right now, it sets up very nicely for George if he can start getting a little more active, using his chip stack, because it doesn't look like Robert's gonna. When you have a chip leader who's not going to use his chips and you're the second in chips, that gives you green light. Go ahead and you be the one taking control.
Especially when you're on his left.
I do, yeah, exactly. That's why it sets up nice. Also, I like Steve opening blind versus blind there. Small blind with queen 9 off, putting the pressure on the short stack. James has to fold the 7-4. No reason to limp and let him see a free flop when you know he can't defend too much because of his small stack. James going to be all in here with the king queen. Robert 2-5.
Robert should call without thinking. Call button.
Yeah, this is a call.
Wow. He's thinking about it.
This is a blind versus blind under 10 big blind shove.
That's a 7 big blind shove.
Yeah,
no,
at
400. You got 8 big blind shove.
You got 2.7 million. This is just a little flesh wound. If you lose it, these are the situations you want.
Yes, absolutely. You know, probably got 2 overs, but okay.
Yeah, you take it.
It's just too much equity. He's letting it go. He's done it earlier. That's what I was saying before. I think he's just a super tight player.
Yep, I agree.
This worked for him. He's waited till he had a fairly good hand. He stuffs it in there. Doesn't want to take any risk otherwise. And that can work as long as you keep taking ace queen and beating queens.
Right here, he's the chip leader. I mean, it has worked. He's been ripping in them 30 bigs, not saying the word call. He's been saying the words all in.
James just increased his stack there by about 25%.
James very happy to see Robert folding 2 5s.
Absolutely.
So much better when you don't have to hit.
You know what? If I'm Robert, well, first of all, I'm never folding it. But if I were folding it, I certainly wouldn't show that I folded it. You're just inviting people to start shoving on you.
100% goes without saying. Stop showing what you're doing, especially at a table where people are paying attention. You want to assume at a live stream final table where there's 26K up top, someone's paying attention.
And
going to use the information.
And if not, their buddies are texting them.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the problem. Even if he doesn't show, we're going to find
out.
Yeah.
In 20 minutes. but you
Although
never
I
know.
tell you what, with the phones being on the rail, it's a lot harder to get that information.
It's a lot harder to get. I was just going to say that.
Got to wait for break.
Yeah, and even then it's tough. You know, there's just you don't even remember. There's so much going through your mind. It's tough. It's tough to get back and go, oh yeah, he does that. Unless you got somebody good on the other end, feeding you not just what they had, but what their tendencies are and what they've been doing, and kind of giving you a path to go forward. It's hard to just create one on the fly.
Yeah, and it's hard to remember all the hands and all the runouts when you don't have it.
Right.
Your phone in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to see it for a second.
And you know what? People do this to me when I'm at these final tables. They'll text me and be like, "Oh, Jim had this," and I'm like, "I don't even know who Jim is. Like,
Right.
I don't know all these guys' names, and we don't call him Jim. We call him P or something. I don't know. Like,
Right.
like I don't. Sometimes the names don't line up. I'm like, tell me what seed it is.
Right.
Then you got to rely on your friends to get the seats right.
Yeah, they can't even count.
There's a lot of room for error. James, ace-5 under the gun, letting it go. King-4, no good for Robert.
My wife always says that. Well, what was he wearing? I don't know what he was wearing. I know what seat he's in.
I think he had clothes. She said that the other day. We were talking about your recall, she said. And I was like, oh, he knows what they were wearing. He was like, no, he doesn't know what they were wearing.
That's right.
He knows how many big blinds they had.
That's right. I know what they played 7 hands ago.
Right.
When they showed down. But I do not know.
Has no clue
else.
what he had on. Whereas she, on the other hand, knows exactly
the opposite.
What they had on. Yeah. George going to bet the open end straight draw. Get Steve the fold ace. I think, we should see George open up and start.
I hope so.
Start getting some of these pots.
This is a dream situation for him right here. He should take advantage of it. You got the chip leader who is not using it to his fullest advantage.
Yeah, he's just giving him the keys to the jet here. Take off. Go get it. Build up your chips, get the 3 million, and then get the Robert heads up. Well, he's definitely going to be opening this hand. 2 8s.
Two and a half bigs open over the cutoff. Sure it's going to get through. Just keep opening.
Yeah,
just keep opening.
Yep, literally, I would just keep opening until they stop me. And then even if they stop me, I'd probably do it next hand too.
Gets that one through James's big blind there. He's back in the same spot he was just in. We're back down around 10 bigs.
Yeah, Ruben doesn't want to bust here. Ruben and Steve don't want to bust because James is so short. Like they can't get too frisky. They can't play too many hands. And they're behind George, so he should just be opening, just pounding the blinds right now. Even Robert's under defending. You know, he's over folding and under defending. Steve's going to take advantage of that himself. Open up the 9-6 suited. King 10 in the muck. James waiting for premiums. Look at there. Easy, just like that.
Just like that.
Couple guys not playing. Many hands.
You know, we talk about this every final table live stream. The guys that are willing to open up their ranges and be a little bit more aggressive than they would be in a full ring setting are the guys that do well. And it's just, you know, people just get out of their comfort zone. They're used to playing a certain set of hands in certain positions. And, we just can't stress enough that works fine until you get shorthanded.
You're right. I mean, I think what everyone studies is 9-handed poker.
Right.
You study what to do 9-handed. Like, there's just not a lot of study time into shorthanded and the 5 and 6 and 4.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that much.
So
right?
when these guys are implementing the same strategy they use 9-handed. Like 9-handed, when cutoff raises, and maybe sometimes you can find some fold from the big line with Jack 7 off. But when you're 5-handed like this, you just can't. You got to play more pots. Because if you're not, you're just over folding. And if somebody picks up on that, it's very detrimental, negatively to you.
Yeah. here we go. We got a three-way flop now. 10-8 of diamonds has made the flush draw.
Looks like Steve opened the cutoff and both blinds defended. Steve's going to pick this king 9-5 flop to c-bet. I think George is going to go with a check raise here.
I would.
Yeah, this is I like check raise here too.
No, just
Especially
going
with-
to check and
especially
call and
with-
try to hit it.
With James, again, with James so short and Steve not wanting to bust.
Now it's going to go check, check. I expect Steve to slow down now after he got called, which is why I like the check raise to start with.
Right, too many turns go check, check, and now your hand looks like a bluff if you bet the river, whereas
Yep.
the check raise on the flop.
Although it's going to probably work because he only has ace high. I don't know if Steve's going to call him off with ace high.
Now let's check this out. George just grabs a stack, doesn't really count it out. And the way he put it out there. Now this is a bluff. So we'll keep this in our mental bank to see how he does other hands.
Put it in the bluff
Be-
box.
Because there's absolutely something to that. You know, the way the different motions he's making with his chips and how he's doing certain things when he splashed them in with the ace king, blind versus blind, and now with a snap bet when he does that.
Yeah, and sort of
There's
stamp it out
yeah,
there.
There's something to it. I would definitely just, keep that in my memory bank. Find out the hand, and then put some kind of map together so where you can exploit that.
Yep. He ended up winning the hand anyway, the way it was played. Steve had a hard call there. Ace high would have been definitely a hero call. Although we've been known to make our share of hero calls ace high when we think they've missed a draw.
You're right about that.
But how good does it feel when you're right?
Oh,
That's what keeps us doing it.
That's why we do
the
it.
problem. It's like crack.
Hero crack.
You just grow like 8 inches, right?
You know,
Shoot up. You're a little
when-
taller.
you just play for that table to go ooh and ah.
wow.
It's just too good,
You see what he did?
right? And so I've
I'm not bluffing that guy.
exactly. I've made a few too many of those lately.
Yeah.
James sticking in his last 8 big blinds there?
Yeah, found the ace queen. That's good enough to do it.
Absolutely. He's
For-
just going to have to do it more than once an orbit, or he's not going to.
Yeah, and you don't
Get
get
anywhere.
you don't get dealt ace queen that much.
That's the thing. That's the other part of this, and the reason you have to widen out your ranges and get a little more active is the blinds are coming around twice as fast. Right?
Twice
You're playing. It costs you twice as much.
Yeah, you don't have the freedom you do at a full table.
Right.
That's a good point.
Short-handed, you got to make things happen. There's just no way around it.
And you know what? People aren't comfortable doing it just because they feel like they're out of control. Right? There's just too much going
It's a
on.
lot easier to make a mistake when you're making more plays. When you're, if you're playing pretty snug, you can play super tight, and at the end of the day, think that you played perfectly. It's not it's not too difficult because you're playing super tight. Like, of course, you played 10 hands today. You only had 10 chances to make a mistake. When you're playing an active style, or if you get short-handed and you have to, there's just so many more chances for you to make a mistake. But you can't be afraid of a mistake.
Yeah.
Because with those mistakes, there's going to be correct plays as well. And you just
Yeah.
want to make more correct than incorrect.
That's right. You don't have to win every hand you play.
And
In fact, if
the
you are winning every hand you
experience.
play, you're not playing enough hands.
Agreed. You're playing way too tight if you're winning every hand. Everyone folds to you. Now you're going to get no action.
Right. And I think that happens a lot. Although we're watching Robert play pretty snug tonight, and it's just working out for him. His hands are holding, and you can occasionally get there. And I think sometimes people get when they do try to get out of the comfort zone and they run into a couple of hands, they go, oh, why did I do that? Why I should have played my old style. No, don't.
Yeah, no, just don't be so results oriented. And also, yeah, we do see Robert, the tight guy here, with all these chips.
Let's see if he keeps the lead.
Well, see, it's also misleading because you're not seeing the same tight guy at all these final tables with chips.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. There isn't somebody who makes a lot of these final tables with a super tight style. It's just you see different tight people getting there, but that's only because there's so many tight people.
Right. And it's whoever ran really, really well.
Right. Of course, somebody tight is gonna cooler some people and get in some good spots and find their way there. It's a given.
Here's Ruben stuffing it in with the queen 10 suited. This is about 11 big blinds or so.
Yeah, I like it. Five-handed.
He's going to get Robert to fold the A7 offsuit in the big
He's
blind.
got the perfect two guys in the blinds to do it on.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd certainly assume Robert ain't going to look him up.
Even with the ace, ace-7, Robert lets it go.
Yeah, Robert's playing it in extra tight style.
Yep. See,
So big pay jump here from 5th to 4th place too. They've got to be looking at those payouts also. From 5th place we go from 48.58 to 4th place 66.24, like a $1,400 pay jump.
Yeah, 1,700. That's even.
yeah, and nobody wants to bust before they get a chance to get to the top couple of spots. I mean, the money's always in the last 3 spots in every tournament you play.
Sam J in the chat asking about the buy-in. This was a $360 100K guarantee. Multi-day event. We had 4 starting flights. Brought them all back today. We're playing down to the final table until we got 1 winner.
Yeah, 368 total players in this thing, down to the final 5.
That's right. With a first place payout of $26,500.
Now, look at this. Robert just limps in the small blind with 7-6 suited and flops 2 pair.
And then
I think he should have raised to begin with. But now he's flopped 2 pair. He's checked it over. Let George take a stab at it.
I think he accidentally made the correct play on the flop, checking it over to the most aggressive guy at the table.
Yeah, this isn't obviously not going to work for George, but I like what he's doing. I would just bet every time they check. Like,
Yep.
Because they're playing so tight and they're overfolding. They need top pair type hands or better to improve. Just keep going after them. And when
Yep.
they have it, they don't even know how to slow play it well enough to continue to let you bluff them. They check raise you, so now you can easily fold and just go to
Absolutely.
get next hand.
Yep.
You're going to win way more than you lose that way.
Get back to work.
You're going to lose a few, but you're going to win way more than you lose.
Yeah, Robert played it like he had nothing for sure.
Like I said, if you're not losing a few, you ain't playing enough.
And if you're not getting it in bad, occasionally you're not getting it in enough.
Yeah, 100%. If you're not getting in bad every once in a while, you're not bluffing enough. You got to have some bluffs in your game to win these things.
Here in the Twitch, Jabber says, do you guys, the commentators, play professionally?
Yeah, Dustin said 33% of us do.
The other 66 and some change, we got to work for a living.
Well, I don't have anything else I do but poker. Kelly may play more than me, to tell you the truth.
No,
But Kelly also
I don't play more than you.
has his own business on the side that brings in his income. And Dustin, of course, is our best bet techie. He runs the live stream and does the flooring and dealing
Yep.
when called on. Do you deal anymore, Dustin?
Sometimes, a couple days a month. Couple days a month, you might catch me in a blue shirt out there when they're extremely short on dealers.
Yep.
What's even worse is if you catch me out there in a suit. That means we're real short on dealers.
Oh,
Yeah.
that means they called you in.
If you catch me in the box in a suit,
Yep.
you know we were real short on dealers that day.
I did see you in a box in a suit the other day, as a matter of fact, I think. You guys do a great job running the tournaments out here.
Oh, yeah, couldn't agree more. Best bet, just one of the best in the country, really. Poker room in general, but especially for tournaments. They do so much for the tournament players. Every time you turn your head, there's a different series here. They're bringing in all kinds of different stops, adding new tournaments like this. This is called the Bankroll Builder Weekend. Like, we haven't had one of them. It's some new formats. Johnny always keeping it fresh and modern.
Yep.
Great place to come and play. If
Yep.
you haven't been here, I don't know what you're waiting on. Come on down.
Absolutely, especially with the satellites. You can get there. I think they had satellites to. Well, I know they had satellites to all 3 of the tournaments this weekend, and a lot of times they have smaller satellites to get into these.
Oh yeah, they run
these
those.
350s.
Yeah, they run those $90 satellites that get into these 360s.
Yep. So you can come down for not much money and get a shot at, in this case, 26,000.
That's right, 26,000 for first. This is a $360 buy-in tournament, 100K guarantee.
All right, here's George raising the 10-9 suited in the cutoff, 105. I like it. Uh-oh, ran into Steve's kings.
Yep, Steve. Let's see. And if this sizing was small enough, George could come along, but this is going to be big. Big sizing where George isn't going to be able to play the 9-10 suited. I don't believe either. Oh, 370.
Yeah, 370.
Let's see. No, yeah, he folds.
Yeah. You know, we haven't seen too many of these guys getting out of line with their 3-bets. We haven't seen any light 3-bets other than Thad's 3-bet with the king, queen on the button, and he probably thought that was for value. I don't think he thought that was light necessarily.
Well, and something to be noted, that's how every poker tournament table is. There's just not a lot of light 3-betting.
Yep.
You can comfortably open knowing you're not getting 3-bet light. Like, that's the great thing. That's why you can open a little more, because people aren't 3-betting you as much. If we were seeing some light 3-bets, people have to condense their opening range because it becomes less profitable.
Right.
When people aren't 3-betting enough, you can widen your opening range.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Here's Robert with his ace king.
There we go. Yep. Just waits every now and then, picks up a monster.
He just shoves in.
Surprised.
Half the
I wouldn't be
time.
surprised if he just said all in. Steve with his famous queen deuce. Big raise 450.
Yeah, he's going to get the bad news.
Yeah, I like Steve going for it. Again, this is another one. Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. I fold. I'll do it again next time.
Absolutely.
Because I know
Back
you
to
have
work.
to have a monster to be able to do what you just did.
Yeah, back to work. I would definitely raise the queen deuce suited on the button every time. Especially on his big blinds. He's been playing very tight.
Got George is going to be our big blind now. Ruben feeling the pressure. He's going to be in the big blind with 10 big blinds next hand.
Look at this, Robert with 8-4 suited in the small blind. He's actually going to. I think did he call? He just. And George is going to raise him with the 7-3 offsuit. How about that? Nice play. That's what we were talking about.
Taking advantage of it. Yep.
Robert doesn't need to be limping, except for maybe a trap. Doesn't need to be limping the 8-4 suited, trying to see a flop out of position. Although he did it last time with the 7-6 suited and flop 2 pair. So what do I know?
Yeah, and got a C-bet out of George.
Right. So here's Robert on the button with ace-6. Certainly will squeeze a raise off with the 8. No, we won't. Wow. Chip leader, ace-6 on the button. 5-handed. Throws it right in the muck.
Whoa.
And it looks like George folded the queen-5 suited out of the small blind.
I ain't got to look that up to know ace-6 is a must raise.
Absolutely.
Wow, if he's folding ace-6 on the button. Man. I want to be out there, Kelly. We need to be at this table.
I know it. I'm doing something wrong.
We're in the booth. Of course we are. Every time we're in the booth, it's like a celebration of failure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll get there. You've been getting there, actually. You've been on a good little run lately. I'm saving mine for something big.
Yeah, that's what Josh was just talking about. He said literally his whole poker career, every time he took a beat, he didn't realize that it was adding up to him hitting out and winning a WPT 5K, you know, for 300. Yep. They played heads up for essentially 120,000.
Right.
And he got it in bad and won. And that just wipes away all the beats from his entire career.
Absolutely.
You know? That's pretty amazing.
You got to have the faith. And
that's the great thing about these tournaments.
And I think he got it in bad when they were 3-handed and got there. He was down to like 8 big blinds or something. He doubled. Forget what the hand was, but I remember him being in tough shape.
Yeah, possibly. He was. He said he got discouraged, you know, when they were like 3-handed. Ace queen versus ace king, and he was able to hit a queen. Oh, here we go. James picks the king 5, blind versus blind. Steve's going to have another crack at him. Last time it was queen deuce versus 5-7.
Yeah.
Steve's got the best hand again. Let's see if he can.
Good call by Steve.
There's the 5.
Wow.
Now a gut shot for Steve. Oh,
Another
another
5.
5. Just a 2.
Oh!
There it is. Whatever you need.
Needed the deuce, and there she came.
Steve openly talking about how much he needs to deuce.
You taught him that.
Now there's 4.
Gutter
4
ball
left.
on the river. Gets him there, huh?
That's pretty sweet, just the 1 card.
Yeah, especially when you turn the trips, you're thinking, oh, here we go. And there it came.
Valiant effort for James. James finishes in 5th place for $4,858. Not bad. Well done, sir. Made some critical pay jumps.
Big pay jump.
Was very short the whole way.
I forgot to tell you, speaking of these runouts, I made a brief appearance on the little charity event that was earlier this week. Was on the final table. Was down to a couple of tables yet, and got it in with ace-3 against Tony's queen jack, and it came king, 10-9.
Oh, yeah. Uncle Tony.
Tony got me. That was
Don't worry,
fun.
he wasn't there much long after that.
Yeah, it was a fun event, and I think raised a lot of money for the school. So it was fun to be part of that. And
We
it
did.
Was neat that you guys did the live stream for that and let some people that don't usually watch poker watch it. So I think you did. There's another one of the great things you guys do out here. Support a lot of local charities.
Couldn't agree more. That was a fantastic event. All in for Christ the King charity.
Very cool.
Raising money for their sports programs over there.
Raised over
Yeah, they
just over 8,500, I think, for the school out there in Mandarin.
Yeah, it's just a great thing every year. Glad George puts it on.
Did it last year, and I think they got a new soccer field out of it.
Yep, exactly. Glad Best Bet joins in and help out.
Actually, I think it may have been more than that. I think I heard him say it was almost 20,000.
I know he raised. Yeah, he said he raised 20.
I think the 8,500 was just the rebuy.
That was just the
year.
rebuys,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was just the rebuys.
Oh yeah, so he was able to give the school 20,000,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
and that's after paying, the places, the
Paying
money
for the
Yeah,
food.
put the money up.
Yeah.
There was a dinner, which I didn't get here in time for the dinner, but there was a dinner and there was a little bit of money, prize money, and everybody had a good time. A lot of raffle tickets too. So hats off to you, George. Good job, buddy.
All right, couple 9s for both players here. Steve with the best kicker, and it plays and it goes check. It looks like. Yep. Steve's going to take it down. Let's see these chip stack sizes, if we could.
Let's take a look at the stacks real quick, guys. See where these final 4 are sitting at the final table of our 100K.
There you go, 2.4 and 2.4. Robert and Steve dead close. George a little behind, and Ruben, severe short stack, down to 11 big blinds.
So like you said, this is the spot that the top 3 are going to probably not play any big pots until Ruben either gets out of there or doubles up. So Ruben needs to pick a spot where he can, in fact, double up or get a little bit more active. Robert on the button. What do you think he'll do with the deuces?
I really want to see him raise, especially with the short stack in the big blind. Hope he knows he's going to have to call it off if he jams. Oh, no.
That was going to be. I was going to say fold. Fold was going to be my answer.
That's what I thought he was going to do.
That was going to be my answer.
That's why you asked. You had a feeling.
He was setting you up
Wow, pocket deuces in the muck, four-handed.
on the button.
George had 9-10 suited, it looked like.
For all you tournament players out there that didn't get your fix this weekend, Tuesday we start running satellites into our 30K guarantee over at our sister property in Orange Park. That's going to be a $30,000 guarantee for a $200 buy-in. 4 day ones. Come back to a final day on Sunday the 17th. Start running those $55 satellites on Tuesday. For all you guys that didn't get your fix during the Bankroll Builder weekend, shoot over to our sister property. Try to get you a piece of that 30,000.
That's right. This is that 30K in Orange Park is one of the softest fields really in Jacksonville all year long. Those 30Ks, very sweet, super soft fields.
You'll see the 3 of us over there.
You get
I'm sure.
you get so many best bet Jacks dealers coming over there playing.
Absolutely.
Which makes it the softest field.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
I just refer to it as the dealer open.
Exactly.
That's right.
speaking of that, Alex had a pretty deep run in HPT. I think he made a final, no, not quite a final table. I think he
got 12th.
12th. Yep, made a nice run.
I tell you what, I was impressed. I played with Alex on day one for a good bit. At the end, we ended up bagging together, and I was impressed with his play. He like you were talking about with George, Dustin, the dealer moniker doesn't hold true. He
Absolutely not.
played well. He's a good dealer / poker player.
Yep, he plays well. I've seen him down in South Florida at some of the circuit events, and I was with him at the HPT as well. I squeezed out a min cash down there, my specialty.
Alex has a real passion for the game. It shows through in everything that he does, whether it's dealing, playing, just being around the game.
Yeah, he's fun to talk to about it.
Much like George. George is the same way. George is pretty passionate about the game. Oh, time to get him in.
Yep. Of course, we don't want to just jam here, though. We would like to get a little action. With a hand this good, let's just raise very small.
We have 9 big blinds on the button.
He jams. I just don't like it.
It looks so strong when you raise off a non-big blind
Especially
stack.
with Robert in the big blind, he has to have like one of 4 hands to call.
Yeah.
But he'll call a min raise with a lot, especially 10-jack offsuit. And when he flops a 10, he's going to call you're all in.
Yeah. Can't be afraid of the suck out.
Kelly, did you say it looks too strong when you raise off 9 big blinds?
No, I said it looks very strong when you raise off non-big blinds.
I think so, too.
It does, but they don't know.
I think he's a lot wider when he jams it there. But
Of course he is, but they don't know what's going on. They don't know that. He's in the big blind and he says, "Oh, it's only 50 more to me. I'll call. I already got 50 in there."
not Robert.
You
Not
have,
on the 5
you have
seat.
aces. You have aces. Like you're not worried about any flop. You can comfortably get it in on every single flop. Kings, you can't do that. Queens, you can't do that. Aces, you can do that.
That's also a valid point.
These are like that's a double up spot. If he just min raises and Robert calls with his 10-jack offsuit that he had, and the flop comes jack high or 10 high, he's doubling up. You know, he's getting all in, and now he's a force because now he would have 20 bigs. But as is, he just wins the blinds, and now he's back to being short, about to be in the big blind again.
Didn't need aces to do that. Could have shoved any two.
Yeah, exactly. He would have shoved ace 3. Just get some money. Find ways to pick some money out of these guys.
Everybody's afraid of that suck out.
If it happens, it happens. I mean, I find sometimes you do that. You play a little. It's a bit volatile strategy, but it's really that's how you propel yourself to wins.
That's how you get some more value. All right, Robert is now. It went check on the flop. Robert's now turned to straight draw. Got to squeeze out a bet here. Instead, he lets George bet and checks and calls to try to hit his draw.
Try to hit the chop outs. There it is.
Wow. See, if he had bet that turn, he would have won the pot.
Yeah, George is seeing that too. Seeing that Robert turned a straight draw and still had no inkling of trying to take it down.
He's waiting until he makes a hand.
So when Robert bets, you can just easily fold because he doesn't bet that often. Wait till the next hand. Just keep taking his blind.
Yep, it's going to be interesting to see if Robert can hold on to the chip lead as tight as he's playing now that we're four-handed. I mean, the blinds are coming around so fast.
Thanks again for tuning in and hanging out with us, guys. You got me, Dustin Shacklock, Eddie Marskoski, Kelly Slay. Riding it out to the end with you guys. It's been a fun one so far. We're happy to be here.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yep, it's fun to watch final tables. We can all learn something. Hopefully
Ruben gets a walk in the big blind with ace-10 suited.
Oh.
He was hoping somebody would put him to the test.
He's at least picked up a couple of hands now. You know, sometimes I'm a believer in momentum in this game. You picked up aces, you picked up ace-10.
People all worked up.
And now
That's
he's
the positive outlook. That's it. Others might say, well, there was your hands.
yeah, yeah, it's true. Oh, I had aces. I got no action. See, here's George getting busy on the button, making a little raise with the 9-6 offsuit. I like it. Everybody else is tightened up. Got a small blind, short stack.
Oh yeah.
Keeping the pressure on them.
I like this defend. That's a good defend by Steve with the king deuce.
Yeah, we can't be folding king high to George's four-handed min raise from the button open, even if it is king deuce.
George outflops him, though. Gets there with a pair of sixes.
Yeah, see, here's the thing that Steve needs to do in these situations. When you know that George is going to be trying to take advantage of the fact that Ruben's short and George essentially effectively is our chip leader because we know Robert's not playing many hands. You got to find some spots to win these pots where you don't have the best hand. So you got to find some spots, like in this scenario, to check raise the flop, even if it's a bluff. Now, I was like in the Kelly Slay school of thought, you want to do it with some equity.
Yes.
You know, you want to have
At least
some
back doors.
some kind of gut shot, some backdoor flush possibilities.
Yep.
But it needs to be done. And then, because George is going to think the same thing. Okay, he's playing back. I'll fold because if it's working the other times.
Right.
And you kind of got to get a feel for that game flow and know when you can take advantage of it.
Yep.
Just know that George's timing in his mind is going to be like, okay, I'll let him. You know, he's going to let you get away with some. So you need to actually take it. Don't only do it when you have it.
Yep, I agree 100%. Although with the king deuce offsuit, there are no back doors other than runner straight.
It is good on
those
ace high flops aren't bad candidates to do it on because when you check raise, George is folding out everything that's not an ace.
Yep.
He's folding out the
and
middle
maybe
pairs.
even some aces.
Potentially some small aces even.
Your blinds are up, gentlemen. Blinds up 60,000 ante now.
And honestly, George I think he's c-betting that spot 100% of the time.
Oh, I agree.
If he's c-betting it 100% of the time,
I actually don't even mind checking and calling with a king high if I think the king high is good, right?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to check. There's actually some showdown value with a king high in that spot.
But it's really hard to get to, and every card you let George take is giving him more equity, or allowing him
a chance,
a
sure.
better shot.
But it also, when you check call there, it freezes him a little bit. Probably gets checked down the rest of the way.
But a lot of times you might have to take a lead and try to bluff. Like it's tough. If it goes check call, I mean you're not calling another bet, not with the king deuce. You're only calling one, but you're just leaving George more options.
Yeah, but he's got a bet again, right? After you check call, he thinks you have something. He's just going to keep barreling. I don't see it. Especially with Ruben, they're short.
Oh shit! I'm all excited. I'm gonna get good cards.
Joe DeChair in the Facebook chat, #Keddy.
There he is.
My dude.
What's up, Joe? Hope everything's good with you, bud.
Yeah, I miss you, Joe.
Either Joe is at a 2-5 table in the Borgata, or he's in his hotel room at the Borgata right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I like the Borgata. That's the only thing I like about Atlantic City, but I like the Borgata.
You know what? That's one of the places that everybody goes to that I have never been.
Oh, you got to go.
I've got to go.
You got to go. It's nice. The Borgata is nice.
It's a very nice room.
Hear that, Mama Slay? We got to go.
It's a big room. It's a very, very, very big room. They got about 3 rooms that are the size of our poker room.
Speaking of that, I think I heard David Jackson just won something up there this week.
David Jackson.
Of course he did.
Yesterday, he won 100K for 34,000.
Yep. That's our guy.
I mean, it had been a couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
it's about
yeah,
time.
Sure,
He,
yeah.
He was due.
Yeah.
David Jackson.
What an animal.
Monster, beast. Any synonym. These guys, David's one I look up to. All his wins inspires me.
Yeah, I like the way
Continue
David
on.
plays. David plays sort of along the lines of what we're talking about with Thad. When he gets chips, he knows how to accumulate more chips and puts a lot of pressure on the table. And honestly, that's something I need to do a better job of.
Oh yeah.
Looks like you got a message there on the Twitch chat, Kelly.
Female
Mama
Kelly
Slay
Slay
says-
says no New Jersey. Well, that's the great thing. You can just go to the Borgata. It doesn't feel like you're in New Jersey.
You got to go through New Jersey to get there. That's the bad part.
All you have to do is
Limo service.
all you have to do is tell her that Celine Dion's going to be playing there.
Yes.
We're there.
Actually, Celine does have a 3-week stint happening at Borgata coming up, Kelly. So.
Just happens to coincide with some series.
Oh yeah, the poker series happens to be there too, but
The real reason.
she may cancel when we get there. But we gotta go.
What do we got going on here? Robert here with top and bottom pair, huh? In the big blind. George is doing it right. Snap folding when
check
Robert-
raised?
Yeah, check raised them.
Yep.
Yeah, let him have it. It's okay. You got that one.
He's had it every time.
You can have this one. I'll take the next 6. And you can have one. I'll take the next 6.
Yeah. There are certain people you just cannot pay them off until they show you a bluff.
Let's take a quick look at it, guys.
There we go.
Not a whole lot of fluctuation there, huh? That's about what it looked like last time.
Yeah, sure is.
Blinds are up this time, though. Now we're at 30-60 with a 60K big blind ante coming around every 4 hands. That'll sting you. You got to put in 150 in orbit, and we're short-handed.
Joe in the Facebook chat says, miss you guys too. He's 2-5 Borgata, nice room. 2 free rooms a week for poker players.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
So Ruben's put it in with the ace-6 offsuit under the gun. I like it. There's only about 12 big blinds.
Yeah, he's getting too short. He's got to make some moves. Like we just talked about, you got to put in 150 in orbit, and we're 4-handed. So coming around every 2 hands,
Yeah.
you're in the blinds.
You can't wait for the same hands you wait for when you have a full table. It's
That's
just
right.
as simple as that.
If you get
Easy to
stung-
say, hard to do when people are, you have habits the way you play.
You know, the last tournament I played, I got in a bad spot where I had about 8 big blinds for what felt like an eternity, and it was miserable.
Here's Robert picking up queens on the button.
Robert just keeps
I think
picking
it's
up.
safe to say the deck has run over him, and even when he got it in bad, he got there against Thad. I mean, this is how you win tournaments right here.
Yeah, this is. Do not rely on this. Oh, is this a flat call? Is this button flat call with queens? Tricky.
Oh, I thought he raised.
Very tricky. Gets both players to check the blinds. Ruben does flop a 3.
Yeah.
I thought he was just going to open fold there on the button when that king came up.
Well, I thought he was going to check it.
I didn't even think he was going to check it. I thought he was just going to fold it.
Getting Ruben has come along with bottom pair.
Taking a peel one time with that very short stack. Oh, gets
Oh,
there.
Look at this. He peeled and hit the second pair.
8 is a bad card. Oh,
What can Ruben get out of him?
I don't know if he can get a whole lot out of Robert. Not with that king on the board.
I think if it's small enough, he's going to get a call. He wouldn't call all. He's going to call that.
This is why he should have raised his queens to start with.
Looks like 225.
Oh, he's snap folded.
Wow.
Whoa, what a fold.
Yeah, with that king on board, I don't think Robert's ever given him any chips there.
Are we sure he doesn't have a cell phone in his lap?
Wow. That's unfortunate there for Ruben. He bets
Yeah, it is.
small like that.
Yeah, I'm never folding queens there. He got to show me a king or 2 pair, whatever he has.
Two 10s for George on the button here.
There we go. Starting to pick up some hands. You know, it's hard to get this many good hands 4-handed, but
You're
they're
right.
doing it.
We're seeing it, yeah.
It's a lot of jack 4, 9 tray,
Yeah.
a lot of hands hitting the muck. That's where spots like that's where it really pays off for George to keep his foot on the gas the rest of the time. When he does pick up a hand, he should get some action. He didn't get any with those 2 cards, but
Yeah, we really haven't seen anybody widen too much. I guess Steve's made a few wide raises from his button.
Yeah.
I think he's the only one that's really sort
queen
of gotten
deuce.
out of line.
so normally
Not
in
out of
these,
line, just correctly widen.
normally in these streams, one of the things that we see a lot is people getting out of line, playing too loose. This one they're getting too far in line, getting out of line, playing too tight.
Wow. He's playing tight for a full ring,
Yeah,
but it's working out for him.
Somehow it is.
Did I disappoint him?
No, they're all rooting for you. They're all cheering for you.
Even my friends are rooting. No one goes to disappoint.
Here we go. Here's Steve raising king 8 offsuit from the small blind. I like it.
Yeah, Steve's going to go after Robert's big line. I think Steve knows Robert's been playing
Yeah, he
by
should.
far the most tight.
Yeah, I like this
He's
raise by
call-
Steve.
He's called with, uh-oh,
His friends are rooting for him.
Huge flop for Robert.
pair and a flush draw.
Yeah, unfortunately, Steve does the right thing and c-bets.
I hope it was small. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it needs to be, because Robert's folding his hands, really not basing it on size, but his hand strength.
Probably going to check raise again, huh? No,
Man,
he
this one's
just
slow.
called middle pair and a flush draw. I thought we were going to see another check raise out of him. Now Steve's hit the pair.
Interesting.
I think I can just shut it down
Yeah, I
now.
was wondering if a pair might actually slow Steve down. He
I
decides
think
to go ahead and
I think
fire at
I
it.
think it should have. Now that he has some showdown value.
Steve's going to need a king or 8. Robert also picks up a gut shot straight draw.
I like
with
these.
his
I
flush
like
draw, with
Robert's
his-
just calling here. Makes
Yeah.
it look like he doesn't have anything.
Oh, wow, what a card. Flush card and a trips card.
Terrible card for Steve.
That's
Robert
450.
bets 450.
Wow. If there was ever a time you could fold trips, this is it.
Against
When the
this,
tightest
against-
guy in the building has just fired off 400,000 on the river.
Wow, couldn't agree more. This would be a pretty heroic fold. We know he's not happy about it. He hasn't snap called. Guy called you on the flop, called you on the turn, and now the club hit.
You know what? We saw him fold ace king earlier after there was some heat in front of him. Remember when it was
Pre-flop, right.
pre-flop, and in this spot, he's telling you he's got a full house, he's got straights, he's got flushes, he's got possibly, well, I was going to say maybe even a better ace eights with ace 8, but there's really nothing that he beats right here. As strong as trip
Yeah.
eights is, what is it that you beat that Robert can have?
Right, we haven't seen Robert. Robert doesn't play ace jack this way. You
No,
know,
he checks back
He
everything.
doesn't decide to get aggressive on the river after deciding to be passive on earlier streaks. So this would be a really good fold if Steve can come out of that somehow come to that conclusion. I think he
Yep,
will.
I think he will too.
Yeah,
I think he's thinking exactly what we were just talking about.
Worst card in the deck for Steve. And
Absolutely.
he may be able to get away from it.
Yeah. Oh,
Makes the call, sees the bad news. He wanted the fold.
yeah. It was one of those. This is in his mind. He's thinking this is too good of a hand to fold, but in reality, as we said, he doesn't really beat anything.
Yeah, he doesn't beat anything but a bluff, and we haven't seen Robert bluff.
No. not
Robert
once.
might be
Not
the
once.
first player in live stream history to make it all the way through a final table by only playing the nuts.
Yeah, and not bluffing.
Floor 59.
By not without bluffing, just only playing the stones.
Never bluffing,
Yeah.
never opening pre-flop, never continuation betting.
Yeah.
And folding some pretty good hands pre-flop.
This is a revolutionary poker strategy.
Folded the deuces, folded the fives, folded.
You want to know how much?
Folded the
Folded.
fives. Yeah, we forgot about the fives.
Folded the fives, blind versus blind.
Yeah.
Well, just folded everything until he had a really strong hand.
Looks like they're going to have Arlie, our tournament director, take a look at the ICM numbers. And what that is basically what each chip is valued at compared to the chips in play, compared to the prize pool. Right now we have about $60,000 left in the prize pool.
There's 7.3 million chips in play. So we divide the remaining prize pool by the chips in play, and that'll give us an individual value per chip. And however many chips you have,
Yeah, then
times that number.
you calculate that, and
Yep.
you know what your equity is.
That's right.
This thing looks over. I don't know.
Yeah, not too sure what's going on here.
I guess they're waiting for Arlie to run the numbers. Right
Yeah,
now.
I guess we're going to pause the clock as a courtesy, give them one time to calculate the numbers. I'll bring up the stacks while we do that. We can get a reasonable feel for it
There you go.
ourselves.
Steve
I-
and Ruben now.
I
the
can tell you
shorties.
this: Steve is sick that he made that call. Now they're talking about doing a chop.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, right?
500,000
that was
chips.
pretty
win.
much half his equity was in that river call.
I think I have a little ICM.
All right, your total prize pool remaining right now, guys, is 59,621.
Even more.
59,621.
Take the change. Nah.
What were the numbers we were talking about?
We were talking 20, 17, 27.
They're gonna give him 20.
That leaves you with over 2,600 more still.
All right. Do you guys want to chop it even since we?
What?
I mean, we are 26. We don't four of us. Yeah, I'm with you.
No, they're going to chop the
Okay.
2,600.
20, 17, 10, and 10, and then chop the 26, 21
17,
four ways evenly?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
There's
then
going to be an
600
extra
to
dollar or
everyone
two
else. Okay,
somewhere in
I
there.
got it.
That is just going to go to X. What about first place championship? Does that matter?
We're paying him the most.
He's the
One.
chip leader. He got it.
Okay. And the championship to go with it. Okay.
All right, you just heard it.
Give me a little bit then.
Looks like Robert, our chip leader, is going to get 20,600. George, our second place, is going to get 17,600. And Steve and Ruben, who are right around the same stack, are going to get 10,600. So there you have it. Robert
An extra 655
is our
for everybody, okay? 655.
100K guaranteed champion.
Wow, check out those last place guys getting better than third place money. That's a pretty good deal for them.
All four guys getting over 10,000.
What was first place, Eddie? I'm going to throw it in this computer.
26,501.
26,501 was the predetermined amount.
Okay, and second place was how much?
16,560
16,560.
and 9,936 for third.
9936 for third, and fourth was
6,624.
6624. Let's see what kind of deal these boys made.
It's pretty close.
It is close, yeah. I did the math real quick on my phone too.
Okay, so this is pure ICM. Kelly just did the numbers in his phone. Pure ICM would have Robert getting 19,200, George getting 17,400, and the short stack's getting a little over 11,000. Ruben getting 11,700, and Steve getting 11,250.
Yep. So close enough. They gave up a little bit. The short stacks took a
Where'd they give it up?
well. They have if we got the numbers right.
Because that's 1,000 off. That's 1,000 off, and that's pretty much what they got.
Did I have the right numbers in there? 26501.
They took it off. They took 7,000 off first.
No, I know that. 265. Yeah, they're in there, right?
Interesting.
Looks a little off. I don't think Arlie's off though.
There you have it, guys. You guys are looking at it right there at $30,000-$60,000 blind level. Robert, our $100,000 guarantee final table champion here, taking down the lion's share of it, taking home $20K.
Yep,
Okay.
20,600. Well done, Robert.
Chopping it up four ways.
Good job, boys. Thank you, Kelly Slay, for joining me in the booth.
Thanks for having me
As
as
always.
usual.
Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us, guys. Like I said, if you didn't get your fill of your tournaments this week, we got that $30K coming up next week in our sister property over in Orange Park. And make sure you tune in Tuesday for a big, juicy 5-10-25 PLO game featuring Josh Atkins. He'll be here.
That's right. I also want to say thank you to Josh Atkins for joining us earlier. And poker players, as always, until I see you next time, keep repping the nuts.
Love that.